Kel-Tec is a proud sponsor of the Talking Lead podcast and the Lead Head Brigade.
Area to get relatives out and what to expect. So. Nice. Oh, the one that's about to hit Florida. Yeah.
Type team. So I've been on a couple with them and helped out.
Yeah. That's awesome. Yeah. That's the hard part about Maui, man. It's on a freaking island 3,000 miles away, you know?
Yeah, I know.
Definitely,
yeah, it's hard
definitely makes it harder.
Hard to get any kind of help out there. There we. It's like the northwest of the United States is on fire right now.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
it's crazy.
But it just makes you wonder: are they just bringing attention to it now, or I mean, is this like just something out of the ordinary, or does this always happen and they just never talk about it until now?
Well, I definitely think, this is one of the fire seasons. So, it's been very dry, high winds, things like that. But, I mean, in the defense of the rest of the United States, there are, there's fires going all over the place.
All over the
time,
world, man. Greece is burning right now too.
Yeah. It's just it's just a mess. And we've had almost no water here in Texas all summer, and it's been, today it dropped down to like 95, but for like the last 3 weeks, it's been like 105 to 111 every day.
Yeah.
No water, high winds, and, it just creates a huge freaking, a huge disaster if something happens. We've had a couple little fires out here that got put out real quick, but man, it's, I'm scared to go out and shoot and, shoot steel and on the ranch and stuff like that,
Make a spark.
And yeah. And the worst part is like the bullet itself, from a rifle is so hot that when you miss the target and it buries into that underground grass, it's still hotter than hell. Right. And so it can ignite stuff. So it's just been pretty shitty.
Yeah. All right. Let's get started. Let's do this.
All right.
All right, lead heads. Welcome back to another episode of the Talking Lead podcast. You survived our 500th episode. This is 501, and it's going to be just as exciting and wonderful and leducating as 500 was. Maybe not as exciting because we announced the big giveaway, Jerod, that STA
awesome.
Blades is going to be a part of.
That's awesome.
It's
I'm super happy to be a part of that.
Yeah, we're still on schedule. So as you leadheads are listening to this episode, it should be kicking off today as you're hearing this episode. This is going to go out Friday, so September the 1st. Be looking on our social medias, be looking on our website, be looking on all our partners' websites for the Talking Lead and Friends Freedom Giveaway, baby. Oh, so much freedom in this giveaway, Jerod.
There is. I would not be mad if I won that.
I think we've got something like over $6,000 worth of prizes that's going to one person. Gets it all.
That's amazing. That's crazy.
There can only be one. And it's going to be amazing. So we've got 3 guns from Kel-Tec. We got a P15, we got a KS7 12 gauge, and we've got an RDB. So I've got an RDB back there somewhere. Did I say P15? I said P15, didn't I?
Yeah.
The pistol, the rifle, and the shotgun. I had the holster here somewhere. Oh. And we got a custom holster for the P15 from Mission First Tactical. Talk about freedom. It's got our new logo on there. Red, white, and blue. And, of course, this is the Labor Day holiday weekend. Is it Labor Day? Is that right?
Yeah, Labor Day.
I get my holidays mixed up sometime. So, again, as you guys are listening to this, I'm probably sitting by the poolside with this right here full of rum that I just got from Puerto Rico.
Nice.
Tia brought me some nice rum from Puerto Rico. So you hear that? Oh, so tasty. But also, Kraken Cases has one of their new rifle cases, the Sigma case. Ton Jones is blowing up my phone right now. He's supposed to be joining us.
Nice.
So maybe Ton will be on in just a few minutes. So our whole idea was to fill up that rifle case. It's a giant rifle case, and you can't see the one that's behind all my Mission First stuff there, but it's ginormous. The guns will fit in there. We got ammo for your guns. We got 9mm and 5.56 from Defiant Munitions. Mission First Tactical, like I said, they've got the holster, all this awesome drinkware that you see us sipping on here. There's going to be some drinkware for Mission First in there. The magazines, AR magazines for Mission First Tactical. We've got Enforce lights for 2 of the rifle and the shotgun. We've got optics from Vortex Optics that we're going to be putting on the rifle and the shotgun. We have an STA Blades knife. It's a MD. Was it MD Stabby?
MD Stabby.
There it is. The MD Stabby. And it was beautiful. I absolutely was. I was like almost like took that with me. It's like, oh, maybe that's not going to make the giveaway this time, guys. But I did.
I know a guy that can hook you up, bro.
Sweet. I appreciate that. And of course, this giveaway also in celebration of our new logo, which you see me if you're watching this video and you've seen some of our others. The release of our new logo, the Talking Lead logo from Black Tie Digital Marketing. So they're also helping us with this promotion. There's the old logo. See that? Here's the new logo. What do you think, Rebecca?
I love it.
You like the new one?
I won't like that. Oh, it's great. Love the black.
Yeah. So we're kicking the new logo off officially. Although you guys have seen it, we've had it out for the majority of this year, but this is the official release of the new Talking Lead logo. So in honor of 10 years, 500 plus episodes, and the new logo, we are having this kick-ass giveaway. So nice. All that stuff I just mentioned and more going to be included. We've got Firebird targets, so you can have fun at the range and blow shit up like we did in the promo video that you're going to see. We blew up some watermelons, had a good time at the range while I was down there in Cocoa with Chad and Matt and the boys. But if you didn't get an opportunity to go back to the last episode, previous episode, 500, our 500th episode, we had Adrian Kellgren, who is one of the owners of Keltec Weapons. He is George's son, who George is the founder and creator of Keltec Weapons. And it was an awesome show that we had with Adrian. We talked about all the giveaway items that we've got in there. And then Adrian, Jerod, is former Navy, retired Navy.
I read the bio on that. He was like a pilot or something, right?
Yeah, he flew the E-2 Hawkeyes, those
nice.
the big surveillance.
Yeah,
planes.
I love pilots.
I like my pilots. But he had a UFO sighting.
I saw that. I read that actually. I should say I read that.
You need to listen to that episode. It's an awesome story, and I should have the video posted by now too. So as you're hearing this, Leadheads, go look for that video on Rumble. To hell with YouTube. I'm posting shit on Rumble now. I don't like YouTube. I don't like their policies, so I'm not going to give them any of my attention. So go to Rumble, and you can watch it there. So far, Rumble seems to be a 1A proponent. So
good.
They're all about free speech, seems to be, so far. Haven't had any issues yet. Cross your fingers. Our video's there, the knife episode that we did. I think the AK episode's up too, video for that.
Oh, okay.
I'm not sure. And I don't know how to silence my phone other than turn it all the way down, which it's all the way down.
Yeah, I'm going to do that to mine.
But I'm still getting noises. Of course, everybody's saying, because it's an Android, Lefty, get an Apple phone. Again, screw Apple. I don't like Apple either. I'm a non-conformist, Rebecca. I'm a rebel.
I like it.
So we have a special guest. I keep
Becky.
saying Rebecca, and our listeners are like, who's Rebecca, Lefty? Who's Rebecca? Who's this Rebecca you're talking to with Jerod? I am going to let Jerod do the introductions for the beautiful Rebecca.
All right.
Thank you,
well,
Jerod.
this is my younger sister, Becky. She is a hardcore surfer, an artist, and she's been living in Maui for about 10 years doing the island life and enjoying everything. And unfortunately, on the 8th of August?
Yeah.
I believe that the 8th of August, the fires hit and she found herself right smack in the middle of it all. And so now she is here to kind of help tell her story, tell about the relief efforts that are going on with her friends that are firsthand knowledge of what's going on there right now and what she's had to encounter since she left, because she got off the island and now it seems that she's got all these obstacles and hurdles with the government and
I've been
relief.
hearing it on the news, the bull crap.
She's kind of here to just let people know the truth firsthand, knowledge and experience. So
welcome in, Becky.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Jerod. It's definitely been a really crazy experience, and I wish I could have my boots on the ground like all my comrades that are still there. I wish they were healing and doing great and getting all the assistance they need, but unfortunately it doesn't seem like the case. And luckily they're coming together as a community, and a bunch of visionary and like friends that I had that had thought of like how to feed the homeless with like the donations and maybe donated land to grow food. They're actually like created huge organizations now, like Hungry Heroes Hawaii. You're going to start hearing a lot about.
Yeah.
And so
nice.
It's just crazy.
And we're going to talk about all that. We're going to go through your firsthand experience, and we're kind of going to talk about preparedness today. And this kind of goes hand in hand with our sponsors, For Patriots, who they are all about being prepared, getting prepared, and being prepared for pretty much anything in life that you may experience. So go to forpatriots.com, use the code all caps LEADHEAD, and you're going to get 10% off your first purchase there. And not only do they have the food items, but they also have durable items as well. They've got solar powered generators. They've got cookware. They've got all kinds of things there. So the food's awesome, by the way. Love the food. I've tried it out. I love it. I like it. I'm going to get more of it. But definitely check them out, and you're not going to be sorry. Use that code, all caps, LEADHEAD, 10% off. Also, this episode sponsors Mission First Tactical. You know, you've been seeing me with their new drinky drink wear that they've got. There's all kinds of different sizes. Jared's got one somewhere, but he's not rocking his.
Well, it's literally, I had to prop a box up to set up my camera.
You're using it as a prop.
And it's in the box right now, so I can show it, but my phone's going to fall over, and it's going to be a catastrophic failure. So I have.
You get a pass.
It's literally 6 inches in front of me.
You get a pass. You definitely get a pass. So go check out Mission First Tactical. Use the code LEADHEAD, all lowercase, and you're going to get 20% off anything at Mission First Tactical. Their belly bands, their magazines, their AR accessories, which I have some back there. I'm getting ready to build 2 new ARs, Jerod. I think I told you about that. I decided on a 458 SOCOM, and I'm going to do another 223 556, a multi-cal.
Nice.
So that's coming. I'll keep you guys informed on those builds and how they go. But yeah, check them out, Mission First Tactical. And of course, Keltec, our friends over at Keltec down in Cocoa. And I think they're getting ready to be on that big hurricane that's coming down there. They're on the opposite side, but I think they still get a lot of that. But I mean, we got fires, we got hurricanes. It's crazy. It's like Armageddon is happening. It's unbelievable. But I think this stuff happens every year. it's cyclical. But we're just getting more, being made more aware of it because the people have these certain agendas. Now, what happened in Hawaii? Not something that happens every year, obviously, and that's out of the ordinary and definitely deserves our attention and our time and our efforts to help those people there. We're going to talk more about that coming up. Hey there, Lead Head Brigade. Lefty here with some important news for you. Forecasters from the University of Arizona warn that 2023 will be a very active hurricane season, and they're asking people to get prepared. They're expecting the number of major hurricanes this year to be similar to 2017, which saw the extremely intense and damaging hurricanes that we all heard about, Harvey, Irma, and that nasty old Maria. How bad can it get? Well, when Hurricane Ida hit the Gulf Coast, it destroyed countless homes and left many without access to food, clean water. Millions lost power. Most didn't have power for weeks. The floods that followed the hurricane washed out the roads, made it impossible for grocery stores to restock their shelves. Families were left hungry and desperate, waiting for help that was slow to arrive. But what if you didn't have to be reliant on the government, FEMA, your neighbor, grocery stores during these crises? The answer is simple. Be prepared with emergency food kits from 4 Patriots. Their long-lasting, delicious food options are specifically designed to provide you and your loved ones with the sustenance you need when you need it the most. 4 Patriots survival food kits are hand-packed in the USA. They last 25 years. They come packed inside covert storage totes. They include a wide variety of delicious breakfasts, lunches, dinners. They've even got some snacks that are tasty. And they're backed by thousands of 5-star customer reviews. Just go check out their website, 4patriots.com, and read them for yourself. 4 Patriots survival food is not just for natural disasters, because in today's world of uncertain supply chains and unpredictable emergencies, it's more important than ever to have a backup plan. Whether it's a temporary power outage, a winter blizzard, or rising food costs, which we're all feeling that these days, right? You can rest easy knowing that you have a reliable source of food to see you through it. And right now, you can go to 4patriots.com and use this exclusive code, LEADHEAD, all caps, LEADHEAD, one word, to get 10% off your first purchase on anything in the store, not just their food kits. So go check them out, 4patriots.com. Use the code LEADHEAD to get 10% off your first purchase of 4 Patriots survival food. That's 4patriots.com, guys. Use the code LEADHEAD and get that 10% off. I want to take care of some jack wagons, Jerod. I got a couple of jack wagons I need to take care of. And,
good, because hopefully you got one for me.
And we want to honor some heroes. So, Gunny, bring that train in.
Hoorah, Semper Fi, do or die, hold 'em high at 8th and I. It is time for the Talking Lead Jack Wagon of the Week, so brace yourself, baby.
All right, so the train has stationed, and I'll kick us off because Jerod, I don't think, has one, and Becky has no idea what the hell we're talking about with jack wagons, and she signed on for more than she thought she was getting, so. So I was watching, and I don't watch social media much at all. I was just browsing through just to try to get updated on what's going on, latest and greatest. But there was this, what's the new X, Twitter, X, whatever it is now? Yeah. I ran across this post, and this guy had a video of this little boy. He's probably like a 6th grader maybe. I don't have kids, so I don't know how old kids are, but he's about, that tall, and he's able to carry a backpack, so he's probably about 6 or so. And he was, they were going into a teacher meeting with a teacher and I guess his mother or his parents. And he was in trouble because on his backpack, and I wish I had one, I don't have one, he had the Gadsden flag, the snake that says "Don't tread on me." Yeah. The Gadsden, it's Gaeds, something like that. But they were saying it was racial. They were racist. Saying that patch was racist and that he couldn't have it, and he got expelled. They expelled him for that. Thus, I guess this meeting with this teacher, and the lady was trying to explain to the teacher that this is not a racial flag. This was a revolutionary. This was during the American Revolution. Is when
the opposite of it.
Yeah, when this flag was created and what it stood for, American pride, and it is a U.S. flag. They used it in the Navy, the naval forces. And, but this teacher was just like, nope, sorry, can't have, it's against our policy. It's against our policy. You can't, she wouldn't listen. And, being a teacher, you think she would have some history, knowledge and be able to teach history and the American Revolution and know that that was part of it. But no, she wasn't going to have any of it. And, they were still going to, I'm trying to remember the video, the story, but they were still going to expel the little boy or something because of the patch. And then he could come back like X so many days or something like, I don't know. It was ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. And she was even telling her that even on is it the ACLU? Is that the people who represent the black people and say what's racist and what's not racist?
Yeah.
Anyway, it was on their list of approved things. It was okay. It was like, this is not a racial symbol, but the teacher still wouldn't listen and expelled the kids. So let me see if I can pull this up. I think I still have it up. I may have been so just like angry with it. I just like, what the heck? So it says, can you believe this? A student was kicked out of class in Colorado Springs for having a Gadsden flag patch on his backpack. The school said that the flag had origins of slavery. And then there's an actual video. I guess this lady had a hidden camera in her baby's stroller, I guess.
Okay.
So she brought her baby in with the teacher meeting there, and she had a little hidden camera and recorded the whole thing. As there's an American flag in the background, waving in the background. Mm-hmm. So there you go. There's my big jackwagon of the day right there. So along those lines, does that bring up anybody for you guys? Do you have a jackwagon? Anybody you want to throw on the train or under the train?
Yeah, I'll give you one that I just encountered pretty recently. When STA Training Group, my training company was up and running really hard. I was trying to promote it on Facebook, and I just got a shared memory on it. But maybe like 2014, 2015, I tried to boost my posts, sponsor to pay. And all I did was put a picture of the American flag, but it had STA Training Group on it so that people would see it. I figured, it won't be a gun. It won't be anything, crazy. And Facebook sent me a message that said that this picture violates community standards. I think it was maybe more because my training group page was flagged already by Facebook.
Yeah.
But I just thought it was pretty ironic that, in the land of the free, you can't boost a post with a picture of the American flag because that violates community standards.
American pride. That's racist.
Yeah.
That's right. You can't have American pride. You can't have pride in anything, really, unless it's a rainbow.
Yeah. It's got to be part of the agenda.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we're being facetious, but yeah, I mean, it's getting kind of ridiculous.
Yeah.
The things that they're calling out. But I think we're getting a lot of people starting to say enough's enough too. I'm starting to see a lot of that.
Yeah,
and
there's pushback for sure.
There's starting to be more and more pushback against this too, where people are just like, hey, enough is enough. It's over the top. It's been over the top for way too long. You got to dial this back. So I think we're going to start seeing a lot of that hopefully here coming up soon, especially, Disney with their stocks plummeting.
Yeah.
Billions of dollars, with all these anti-woke people protesting them. So
yeah.
I mean, that's what it takes. It's that your voice has to be heard. You got to be a squeaky wheel or you get no oil.
That's right.
How about you, Becky? You got any jack wagons?
I don't know.
You're a surfer. You're just
I know that.
Everybody's
I'm not
cool.
sure it exactly goes along with what you're saying, but like in Maui right now, I'm seeing on tons of people's accounts that are even Marines and stuff that are saying too much about the government's lack of aid, and they're being blocked by Instagram. There's like a social media blackout right now, and all that information. Yep. And if anyone says anything about even the president falling asleep at like these important meetings when he visited Maui, like that thumbnail is completely blacked out. Like on Instagram is like suppressed.
What has happened to our society, our country, to where we're being censored now? And it's all blatant
information.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's a word for it, right?
Censorship.
Yeah, communism, socialism,
Marxism,
censorship, everything.
Yeah, and that's exactly what's happening. If you go against, what the government's trying to portray, then they don't want you to have that word out there. They don't want you to know about it. Same thing. We saw it big time during COVID. Big time. I mean, look at all the people that they shut down and even were trying to arrest for things that have been proven to be absolutely correct today.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
And they're even trying to bring the mask mandates back. Have you heard that?
Yeah, that's just to prove, because they probably forgot, so it's just to remind them that no matter what, the majority will conform to the policies.
I don't think anybody's going to now because of all the turmoil and crap that we went through. They saw, I mean, people firsthand saw, it's like, these people aren't right, probably shouldn't be doing this, not going to go along with it anymore.
You're giving way too many people the benefit of the doubt.
Well, I would like to do that. I would like to do that because I believe in people, I believe in common sense, and I believe that the media was the mass driver of all the disinformation that was out there, and that the majority of Americans weren't buying into this to begin with. They weren't.
Right.
They absolutely weren't.
I agree. There's still going to be a large populace that conforms to it. And I mean, it's just.
But look what they're doing. Look what they're doing, Jerod. They're forcing companies that receive government aids. Like, hey, if you don't do this, you're not going to get the aid anymore. So therefore, you have to do this. So these companies are forcing their employees. They're like, look, you got to do this, or you can't work here. People lost their jobs over this nonsense.
Yeah, but when I go into like Dallas or Austin, I was just in Austin last week, and I still see people in their cars by themselves driving with a mask on. So that just tells me
if people want to wear masks on their own free will, wear a mask. I don't give two shits. You want to wear a mask, wear a mask. But that's not going to perpetuate me doing that. Don't force me to do it, because it's already been proven scientifically how harmful and how bad that was for people to do that, and especially forcing our children, to do it.
No,
when they were
agree.
Infinitesimally, a possibility of them to get the COVID to begin with. It was an infinitesimal percentage that they would get it and it would harm them. And it turned out that for the most part, the people that got it were people who had pre-existing conditions, or they just flat out lied at the hospitals that these people died of COVID when it was a shotgun wound to the head.
Right.
But they put down COVID. And that's been proven. That has been proven. Yeah. And I'm not going to cite sources here. You can go to all these news channels and websites that do that stuff. I don't do that here. And I'm talking too much politics, so let's stop it. I don't like talking politics here anyway, because we all know it does nothing but get us all upset and irate. So let's talk some heroes.
Okay.
Let's talk heroes. My heroes are the Sheepdog Impact Assistance Group. My good buddies over there that, and I don't know that they've jumped in Hawaii yet to help out, but when natural disasters strike and hit our country, they're always putting together disaster recovery teams to go and help out. I know that they are already preparing for this. Is it Ida or what's this new one called?
Yeah, it's Frida or Ida or something like that.
Idella or.
Yeah, it's weird. It's a weird name.
Yeah, let me pull it up here. Idalia. Idalia. I don't know. I'm butchering it. I always butcher names, Rebecca.
Me too.
I'm horrible with names. So Idalia is now a hurricane moving toward Florida, and it's probably going to do some pretty good damage. You know,
yeah, it's supposed to hit like Wednesday, right?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I think it's hitting today or tomorrow. Yeah, it's supposed to hit. But our friends at Sheepdog Impact Assistance are putting together a disaster recovery team, and they're going to need help. They're going to need supplies. They're going to need resources. So if you are so led, go to SDIA, sheepdogimpactassistance.org, and there's links there where you can donate. You can help out if you want money, if you want to donate if you've got a particular skill set that would help down there. I don't know, you got a chainsaw, you can cut trees, you know, whatever it may be. Just get in touch with them. They will let you know what they need and how you can help out. So go to sheepdogia.org. They're on the Grams, they're on the Facebooks, and of course just go to their website, and that will get you everything. They sent me an email. I'm trying to find the email that they sent me, but I'm not finding it right off. But they're my heroes.
Nice.
Digging them. What about you guys? You got heroes?
Yeah.
Let's hear your hero. Let's hear it.
My hero this week is my little sister, Becky, actually, because she did everything that she was supposed to do to get out on foot during a crazy, crazy time. And not only did she get out, she has just been selflessly going and trying to get relief for friends and keep in communication with everybody that's over there still and going through this hard stuff. And I think when you hear her story, you'll understand why I think she's a hero. So she's my hero of the week.
Very good. Welcome to Lead Force One, Becky. It's a Thanks, nice Jared. Big 747 with, you know, Corinthian leather and all the drinks you want and all the best food and steaks, and we'll take you anywhere you want to go in the world.
Please. Yeah, Jared, you totally stole my hero. I was going to say you for sure. You've always been my hero. Definitely.
Look at this. Nepotism.
Right.
I also do got to give a shout out to, like, my whole life I have loved my Marines, especially Jared and my brother, Russell. And I also want to give a shout out to my hero right now that I've never met, but his name is Leo Mana.t on Instagram. I don't want to butcher his last name, but I know it's like Turla. Let me just spell it really quick.
I'll look it up.
Yeah, it's Leo Mana, and his last name is spelled Turalde.
Turalde?
Yeah. Turlade? I don't know.
Okay, let me see.
But he has a pretty good following on Instagram, leomana.t.
Well, let's just pull him up on Instagram then.
Yeah, pull him up because he is just an inspiration. He was a guy on Big Island at the time, but he's served in the Marines and also helped with some disaster relief when the volcano hit Big Island.
There he is.
And so he didn't hesitate, made it to Maui, was like one of the first people to arrive to try to get some people he knew were on the banyan, near the banyan tree. Yes, that's him.
Yeah.
He is on the ground. He's doing everything he can, even like flying across the country to just hold up the Hawaii flag. Recently when Trump and a bunch of people were turning themselves in or whatever, just to get any media attention. He is somebody you should definitely follow and support.
He sounds like a smart guy as an astrophysicist.
He is, yes, and he has a good heart. I would definitely do anything you can to just share.
So Leo, for lead heads that are listening, go to LEOMANA.t. That's his Instagram page. Leomana Turalde.
Yeah.
Sorry,
Sorry.
Leo. But yeah, awesome. Go give him a follow, and he's keeping up with what's going on down there and keeping people informed on what they can do to help out.
Yeah, and if I can say one more.
Yeah, absolutely. You can say as many as you'd like.
Careful. But I do know there's one person that I have been following, and like he's also a Marine, and was in the Aniki incident, and a lot of his stuff is being suppressed, and he's talking about things that he just wants to put out, the questions, that need to be answered. His name is like Trip Mayhew, TRIPPMEHEW. And he is giving like real talk. He reminds me of you, where he's just kind of the connect from the real source of information. Yes. Okay. He just is asking a lot of questions that aren't being answered and kind of suppressed in social media. And maybe you could listen to some of his videos.
Yeah. Author, veteran, truth seeker, average guitarist, and yogi. My pronouns are common sense.
But I like his input, and he's there, and he's experienced things, and those are some of my heroes right now. And all the other community people coming up, stepping up to get those medicines and food and water and gas and shelter.
Absolutely. And I have to put this out there, because anytime there's a disaster like this and people are in need and hurting, there are vultures out there and people that will take advantage and try to be dishonest and steal money, basically, from these people that actually need the help. So if you plan on donating to an organization or a person, vet them, do the background checks on them, make sure it's legit, because far too many people try to take advantage of situations like this for their own personal gain.
Yeah, I would not need to Red Cross right now. I would definitely look up Lahaina _ Ohana _ Venmo to look at the real families and donate directly if you can to the families.
So what is that? Is that on Instagram or is that a website?
Yes, and it's definitely real, and those are pictures of the families that I know personally, and people that definitely need direct donations, and it's called Lahaina. I'm sorry. I think it's Lahaina _ Ohana _ Venmo.
I don't speak Hawaiian. You'll have to spell all that out for me. I'm
just LAHAINA.
LAHAIN. Is this it? Ohana Venmo. Here it is. It comes up real quick. So Leadheads, it's LAHAINA _ OHANA _ VENMO. And Becky vouches for this. This is a legit organization group that is dedicated to helping the Hawaiian residents there.
Thank you, Marty. Thank you.
Absolutely. So it says Venmo mutual aid by Lahaina residents for Lahaina residents who lost their home or loved ones. And then it's got a lot of posts here. So I definitely will check this out, and let me give them a follow there.
Yeah, that's really like who needs the help right now. Those young families and local families that can't even leave island because they don't have anywhere. They don't have family anywhere else. It's like their whole family's home. Everyone in their family's home's gone too.
Yeah, and just looking at the pictures of the devastation that these fires did, I mean, it's something out of a movie. It doesn't even seem real, but it is. It's absolutely real, and the devastation is there. The loss is there, and Becky, I want to hear your story. So we'll wrap up the heroes and the Lead Head Brigade jack wagons there. And if you've got them for the future episodes, Leadheads, email me, talkinglead@gmail.com. We'll read your nominations on air. I think A couple of you may have sent some. We'll get those next episode. You know, we always come back and get them. But I want to get into Becky's story here on the... were you in Lahaina when this happened, or were you in Maui?
Yeah, so I've been living in Lahaina, just like 2 streets back from the banyan tree. So like right near Front Street. I've been working on Front Street and living just like 1 street off for many, many years. I've only lived in Lahaina for like the last almost 10 years. So I do know the streets pretty well. And I know a lot of the people. I've been really lucky to be invited into that community and supported, and got to know like some things about it. What was your question? I'm sorry.
Yeah. So you're in the Lahaina. Is that how you say it?
Yeah. So you've seen, a lot of people have seen the harbor photo. I was living about 2 streets directly back from the harbor. So really close to where the fire that ended up destroying everything started. It was just like, seemed like maybe at the bottom of Lahaina Luna, which is one back.
Do you see the map I've got up right now?
Yes.
So guide me on this map so we can kind of give our listeners an idea of.
Okay, scroll down a little. Yeah. There's the harbor, that jetty that sticks out.
Right here?
Yes.
Okay.
So if you go back 2 streets, I lived on Waianae Street.
So you're like back in this area?
I'm sorry, go back towards the mountain from the harbor. Inland, yeah. And if you go down a little bit, I was living right there by the prison. It's like a historic, beautiful spot, not like how it sounds. Kind of by that green patch, a little bit up.
This
into
one?
If that says the prison, I'm not sure.
It says Aloha Cemetery. And
So kind of right near
Prison Street. I'm on Prison Street.
I was on the corner. Yeah, on that crossroad of Prison Street and Waianae.
Okay.
It's where I was
right in there.
living.
Gotcha. So did the fires hit? They hit all this area, right?
Yeah, in about 3 miles total. There's a new fire map that shows how far it went. It's definitely a few miles in each direction almost. They have a pretty good.
So here's I'm pulling up arcgis.com, and this has like I don't know if this is like a live wildfire map all over the world. You can pull this up, but you're right in here. So that's where you were talking about right there. That jetty.
Yes.
Yeah.
The whole town, and it pretty much burned that in all those buildings you see, and then a little bit farther down south.
And it
was like 80% residential.
Walk us through that day. What were you? Just a typical day? Or I guess you're at work. You're surfing. What are you doing that day? Earlier that day.
Okay. So it was definitely not a typical day. I had heard. So living there quite a few years, there's been several hurricanes. Normally everyone goes and buys supplies and gets ready and prepares and, stresses. But I heard from one person about the Dora coming, and they had told me no worries, that they heard that it was downgraded to a tropical storm. It was going to pass by us, or it had already begun to, so no worries. There was going to be expected some light winds, which is pretty unusual. Normally they take all the boats out of the harbor, or on the mornings people will like do these, just for precautions, lots of precautions. This time it was really downplayed, which surprises me. And then we're asleep the night before the fire, around 5 a.m. I guess, we heard, all of a sudden the power goes out, and it seriously sounded like a freight train was blowing like zooming past the house, like the whole house shook with this gust.
Yeah.
So it must have when the initial wind started, it must have downed some power lines and blocked out like a cell phone tower, because, or at least the internet, the Wi-Fi, the power was out. But my phone, I had tried to turn on the news, or everyone uses this Maui 24/7. It's like a local family, but it's kind of like a coconut wireless, really good source of information minute by minute. So I turned that on and it says there's fires on the other side of the island, the southeast side, Kula, and somewhere else. And then my phone dies and there's no way to charge it. So I just couldn't believe how strong the wind was. We never really went back to sleep. And then in the morning, we weren't sure if work was happening or what, because there was no phones. So me and my friend both went our separate ways to go to our jobs and see if we had work that day.
Right.
There was no power anywhere. I saw there was power lines power poles knocked down on Waine'e Street, this one that had always looked like it was about to fall over anyways. And then the wind started. So I went to the surf school I worked at. They said they didn't want people getting swept out, so they were going to close for the day. And everyone was just kind of, my friend told me roofs had blown off during the night and were on power lines.
Oh, wow.
And maybe there was a fire up Lahaina Luna.
But
I guess
where
when
you
the
were
power
living,
originally
you didn't, all you could hear was just the sound. You guys didn't really get the storm or the winds on the street that you were on?
Yeah, the wind started about 5 a.m., I think, the same time the power went out.
Yeah.
It was like one gust just like knocked everything out. And then after that, the gust just never stopped.
So this was consistent after like 5 a.m. It was just consistent with the winds and everything.
Oh, yeah. And stuff had already, by daylight, been like, it looked crazy. Like roofs, palm trees, telephone poles were down like by early morning. And I saw the telephone pole company bringing in a new pole. And we're like out in our yard trying to cut up huge branches that had fallen all over the garden and like the awnings. And it was mayhem. And so everyone could barely go outside without worrying about getting like your head cut off by like a tin roof.
Yeah.
Or
debris floating. Yeah. Blowing through the wind.
It was like a tornado wind. Like, I don't think they had got winds like that in like 200 years. So there was like old trees getting uprooted. Nothing could withstand this wind.
Was it rain also, or was it just wind at this point?
No, I can't say I really remember any hurricane that brought rain. It's always been wind, and you expect fire from hurricanes there because the West Maui's are super, super high. And I feel like maybe it breaks up the clouds. I don't know why, but Lahaina means relentless sun, cruel sun. It's very protected from a lot of weather. So I never expected rain ever from hurricanes. I always just assumed it meant like from 2018 when we had a huge fire from the Hurricane Lane. I feel like everyone knew there wasn't going to be water coming. And it was going to be wind and possibly a fire. Because
when you think hurricane, you think wet. I think wet. I think a lot of rain and wind and waves.
Yeah, it's coming from the ocean. And
yeah. So that's good. I mean, that's because when people are hearing this, they're probably thinking that's the same thing I'm thinking. But it's just torrential winds and then these
crazy winds.
Yeah.
You can't even. I was terrified to go outside the whole day. And so I was in the room. Everyone was in my house just sleeping because you literally couldn't do anything. And it was really hot. And you couldn't even go outside. So a lot of people just decided to sleep. And I was supposed to actually fly home to California that day. So I hadn't heard if the airlines were still going. I assumed they weren't, but there was literally no communication at all. And so I was in my room, started packing a little bag just in case, because sometimes on the other side of the island, it's different. So I just maybe thought the weather would stop and maybe there was still flights, because my flight wasn't till like 10 at night. And luckily, one of my roommates had gone outside and noticed a little bit of smoke coming from behind our house. And he came in and kind of calmly told me we might have to leave pretty quick. Yeah. And it was just like very calm, casual at first, because you weren't getting any alerts on your phone. There was no siren, which we've all completely grown accustomed to reacting to, because every first of the month they sound like the world's best alarm that's for emergencies, all emergencies.
Yeah.
It sat silent, which just confused and delayed like precious seconds that could have saved lives.
Yeah, people were waiting on that siren that never came.
Yeah, and during the last hurricane that started the fire, there was embers flying into our home, but I didn't know what to do because I didn't, you don't want to, you see a line of cars, you don't want to be part of that panic line of cars. So I don't remember hearing the sirens then, but I've heard reports there were, but I know I physically waited till a policeman told me and my roommate to leave. And same with this time, there was no siren, so everyone just stood there watching the smoke get crazy, crazy black and closer by the second.
Yeah.
And because there was no alarm going off, that we just seriously didn't leave. Everyone just stayed there. I remember my friend saying maybe we should leave, but I couldn't because of the wind was so scary. I thought we'd be crushed or killed by trees or power lines that were all over the...
Yeah, no doubt.
Yeah, I see these videos and I don't think people understand the wind, how scary and deadly it is when like I was standing outside this place and like a window, but like a French window fell like 20 feet, shattering everything. There was giant tin roofs like swirling around the streets that people were walking on. It was just like not safe to get out of your car. It wasn't safe to leave your home.
Now you're saying that the last hurricane, when was the last one that came through, you said? How many years ago was that?
2018.
2018?
And they said it was a huge wake-up call because it burned it was like 2,000 acres of the West Maui Mountains. So the only good thing that day was it was onshore winds blowing from the ocean up the hill. And the Maui Fire Department is like my heroes. They have saved us. They know it's a really fire-prone area since they diverted all the water. And so
do you know what caused the 2018 fires? Was there ever a cause for those?
Good question.
If you don't know, that's okay. I'm just trying to figure out, because you said with the hurricanes, it's typically high winds and fires. It's like,
Yeah. That's funny. Or it's not funny, but I can't say I really remember what the outcome was, what started it.
Yeah.
I just know that there weren't, I just know the whole town didn't burn down and everyone was so relieved.
Yeah.
And so it just like, and they said that was a huge wake-up call. We got to like really make sure we know exactly what to do if this ever happens again. And then they don't even sound the alarm. And they said they didn't even regret not sounding it. And they were even like asked if they should probably sound it, and they did not.
So they're denying. They're trying to deny the liability, I guess, for liability reasons. I've heard the electric company took blame for the initial fires. The electric companies took, but they're blaming the county for it getting out of hand. Yeah,
so there was an original fire that there is some video evidence that there were down power lines starting some fires. So the Hawaii Electric Company is saying they shut off all power to all the lines after that occurred, and the fire that devastated Lahaina was hours later after the power had been shut down. So that is also a weird question, or a question that needs to be answered, because the police are saying the reason why they blocked a lot of the roads was so people didn't go over down live power lines. So both can't be true.
Right. Yeah, and that's what I heard the electric, and they're saying that after the initial, they shut everything down, but they're saying that the fire department pulled out too soon. Is what the story. And again, it's a blame game. They're pointing fingers. It's probably a combination, maybe of both. Will we ever get the truth? I mean, who knows? At this point, it doesn't matter except for going forward, so it doesn't happen again, to prevent this from, actually happen again. But the damage and devastation is done. It's happened. Now everybody's trying to figure out what to do, and like did you get out that day? Because you were talking about you were trying to make it to the airport, and how did you get out?
Yeah, so at my house, when we kind of walked to the corner, my friend had ran to see where the fire exactly was towards the highway, and then I heard a police officer. He rode down our street heading towards the highway, and he said, evacuate. But it was my neighbors that were standing right next to me didn't even hear it. They were still just standing there. And so I went and told them, hey, they did say evacuate. And so me and my friend grabbed our little dog and a couple waters, and we just left on foot. And which definitely have a lot of regrets about that. And everyone thought you'd be safe from fire maybe in the ocean. So our plan was, okay, we don't have a car and the roads are all blocked anyways. So we decided to head towards the ocean, towards French Street, which was really the only option because there was a down power line on the north end of Waianae, a palm tree on the south end, and they were blocking the highways.
Yeah.
And so everyone was kind of pushed towards French Street. We went to
so you were naturally funneled. Everybody was naturally funneled to go that way anyway.
Yeah, there was there's only one road in and out. And so we left on foot. There was some definite
I'm going to pull this map up again while you're talking.
Yeah. Our landlords own a local awesome bar in Lahaina. I bet everyone in the world has probably been there at some point. They were under construction, but they're our neighbors, so they said they would open it for people to go into, and it's right near the 505 near Lahaina Shores. That survived. And so we go in there. There's only a handful of people, and we're just watching these cars in a line on French Street, not moving. And all of a sudden, flames are now across the street in seriously minutes. It was crazy how fast it went and burned the entire town. I think it was 24 minutes it took to get to French Street from where the fire started.
Introducing our new belly band holster. Whether you're hitting the gym or running a quick errand, our belly band is one of the most comfortable and safest ways to carry your firearm. The center section allows you to carry most common pistols. Left or right-handed, this has you covered. A hard laminate trigger shield protects the firearm's trigger from unwanted intrusion, giving you ease of mind while carrying every day. 2 elastic sleeves give you the flexibility to carry other everyday items, such as spare mags, flashlight, knife, or pepper spray. 2 zippered pockets run on both sides, offering the option to carry smaller items such as money, cards, or keys. Flush fit on your lower back or waist, easily keeping your setup discreet no matter how you choose to carry. Utilizing 3D spacer mesh, these channels allow for exceptional and efficient airflow. giving you maximum comfort and keeping you cool. Carry whenever you want, how you want, with our new belly band holster. Available now.
Go to missionfirsttactical.com. Use the code LEADHEAD for an exclusive listener-only 20% discount. I'm trying to find French Street.
Yeah, French Street, Lahaina.
Here's prison. So did you run down prison?
Yeah, I ran down prison.
Okay. And
there
then
were plow lines, and the highway was blocked off.
Front Street. So did you get down to Front Street?
Yeah, we got to Front Street, to Lahaina Shores. There's a big white hotel that somehow survived. That we went to a place that was next door called the 505. Spanky's Riptide.
Somewhere around this area?
To support. They've housed me, and they're good people. And even in the fire, they opened their doors to me, and we thought we'd be safe there. But unfortunately, the flames reached across the street really quickly. So we had no choice but to flee on foot again. And we decided we would head south, basically just to the other side of Lahaina Shores, and we decided we would go to the ocean. And then we were like, wait, one of our good friends lives a little bit farther south and inland. So they usually have a bunch of vehicles. They run a lot of Airbnbs and hostels, and they're really good family in Lahaina as well. And luckily we thought to go there. They were still at their house, which was a miracle, and they were loading up. They had tons of pets and like a bunch of guests that they were responsible for. Like tourists had no idea where to go or what to do. It really
renting out their properties.
Yeah, and their homes. So you have like a bunch of people that don't know Lahaina at all that are supposed to evacuate with no idea. So they were luckily still there figuring that out, making sure their people were safe. And they had a truck that I'd never seen before. It had been pretty damaged by a fallen like bay window or trees. I don't know, but the window was broken out and there's glass everywhere. So I got into the back of the truck, the bed of the truck with like my dog and the glass, and waited thinking that we were going to leave any minute. And the fire had now definitely taken over Front Street and was heading towards the shark pit area that I was at. And then I asked if we could possibly leave with the dogs, because they were putting all the cats and possessions in this other car. And I was starting to really freak out and was begging my friend if we could maybe take their truck and meet up with them somewhere else when they were able to leave. And unfortunately, that was terrible. Trying to make a plan in a panic is the worst. I hope everyone knows where to go and where to meet, maybe several spots. Because that part really messed us up. We tried to go out of town. By then, the roads were pretty open. There wasn't many people trying to escape except for maybe on foot.
Are you trying to go south at this point, or are you trying to go more inland?
For some reason, I always tried to go south because the smoke was kind of north of me when it started. Just a little bit.
So just instinctively, you just headed south.
Yeah. I had to. I was kind of pushed that way, or else I would have had to go through all the black smoke.
Right.
It was like, I was forced to go south or towards the ocean. And so we just see people dumbfounded standing there as we're driving out of Lahaina, and there is a man panicked, can't find his wife, his house is burned. So we get him a ride. We load him in the truck, take him all the way up to Laniapoko, which is near where a meeting spot that we were supposed to meet our friends.
Mm-hmm.
And it was insane. When we dropped him off, it was like 80-mile-an-hour winds. It seemed like it was scary. Like there was nowhere we could park. It seemed that wasn't
And
under a
are
tree.
there fires around you at this point also?
At this point, we were above the bypass, so we were looking down on the fire, which was definitely growing kind of in all directions. It was starting to get more sunset time, getting darker. And it was kind of below us to our right. And I didn't feel safe there at all. I kept begging my friend if we could please just leave that area. We just circled around, basically, trying to find them.
And at this point on the map, where are you? Let me zoom in.
We're up Lahaina.
So
it's just south of Lahaina.
So my cursor, see my cursor?
We don't see it.
I don't.
Oh, you don't see it?
No.
I thought I was screen sharing. I'm sorry.
You're fine.
My bad. There.
There we go.
Yeah, I thought this was up the whole time. I was sitting there like, is this it? Is this it?
Yeah, so see that first road up out of Lahaina, south of all the homes?
Right here?
One more down. I can't tell if that says Laniapoka or not. It might be the next one.
That says Hoka Poka. I don't know what this is. Here's
so Lahaina Luna Road. I don't know what that is. But yeah, we went up. I'm pretty sure that we went up Laniapoka Road. So it might be the next one down. That goes up into those homes.
That's
or that.
I
don't know. It was one of those two roads. I can't really read what they say.
It's south of those, though.
South of these?
Yeah.
So you made it pretty far south then. So you made...
What is that road right there? Yeah.
Kalihili?
Yeah, go back towards Lahaina. I think it's that second road that goes up to the homes. Yeah, I think that's Laniapoka.
Okay.
I can't tell.
It starts with a P.
But yeah, we went somewhere to some fire access road up there.
Something loop is what it says.
It's back to Lahaina.
Okay, so you're back in this area somewhere.
Yeah, kind of down below it. Just like by those bypasses, by that empty like grass area. There's like these roads that go along the highway now up above in the mountain a little bit.
Okay.
But yeah, we were up there, and eventually they evacuated. We sat at the bottom of Laniapoka on Halapini Lani Highway, right at the bottom there. And then eventually at night they started evacuating Laniapoka, all up there in those homes. By police car, they were like driving around. They might have even been knocking on doors, but the fire was not being contained, so they had to evacuate all those people. So then we got evacuated. So we started driving again further down south on the Poly. And we pulled over. So that we got evacuated. We just kind of moved just a little bit, trying to find anywhere safe to park that we could along the highway. And we slept there. But you could see the flames. We had to literally just like watch them all night long because they looked like 100 feet high. I don't know if it was igniting a tree. Every time it would go super, super high, and then it would look like they were putting it out. And my friend kept wanting to go back to Lahaina. And I was kind of arguing with him the whole time that no, like we can't head back that way. But nobody could really comprehend what was going on or what had happened. So I think it was right around sunrise, we got evacuated farther down the Poly, and we ended up at Oluwalu, which is somewhere we were terrified to drive to the other side because of the winds. It's a very crazy highway already. And
at this point of the Oluwalu, this started at around 5 a.m., you say, on the 8th or so, or is it the 7th or 8th? 5 a.m.?
This is the 9th now, in the morning.
This is the next day. You're at Oluwalu. You made it.
Yeah, Oluwalu. And we were just like, I kept wanting to get away from the fire, but at the same time, it was terrifying to drive on the Poly. Even on a good day, I don't like doing it. It's very windy, and it's like a super high cliff. It's kind of like driving Highway 101 if you've ever done that.
Yeah.
And so we didn't know if the whole other side was on fire. That's the last thing I had seen on my phone. So we didn't know anything about the other side. We didn't know if you could even get around the highway. So we just kind of like sat there on the side of the road waiting. About 11 o'clock, we were like out of water. We had 4 dogs in the car. And we tried to search the radio. There was nothing but Hawaiian music playing, like no information.
No info at all.
No, and I never saw any emergency vehicles heading in the next day, which was
and your phones weren't working at all during this either?
Yeah, so I don't think they ever got cell phone reception back, but I'm pretty sure. So my phone was dead, so I have no way of knowing really anything about the phones except for that I've just heard since then no one really had the towers were knocked down. So even if my phone was on, but once I got to the other side, we got to Maalaea Harbor. The Poly was crazy, the highway. There was people walking, like, all night long. I saw families, people on foot, walking in, like, seriously, like, 85-mile-an-hour winds, walking the Poly. Like, tourists, I don't know who they were, but I can't even imagine.
They were just
walking,
out
like,
there just, like, watching it? They weren't trying to escape or anything?
No, they were people that, like, probably maybe were tourists that didn't have cars, staying in Lahaina, or like many people that lived in Lahaina, and they had no choice but to walk the highway all the way to Maalaea Harbor. One of my best friends.
Where I'm pointing right now. Is that where you're talking about?
Yes, people had to walk
from here
Lahaina
to how many miles is that? Good Lord,
I don't know, but it's 20 miles to Kahului, I think. So, and it is scary, man. Like, when I first got to Maalaea, I got out of and I saw people, they were literally like all night long, little kids, walking the Poly at night. And I couldn't even imagine, I couldn't even drive it. But being exposed like that, walking it literally gives me nightmares. And then I get out of the car at Maalaea Harbor, which was chaos. And my first friend I ever made in Maui that I found on Craigslist, and I moved over there and lived with him for many years. He gets out of this car next to me. He's the first person I saw. He told me he had just walked all night from Lahaina, the Poly. And I just couldn't believe people I saw. He said he had to burrow into it. Like, there were all these trees, like super, super old oak trees, kiave trees. They were fallen over, and he burrowed himself into like the sand because the exposure was gnarly that day. Like, the wind was so bad. The air was like thick with this dust all day. And then to add the smoke, and it was just so bad. I can't even imagine.
When was the last time it rained there before this hit?
Yeah, I have videos of it because every time it rains, it's a really big deal.
Yeah.
And I gotta say, it's definitely been a few months. Like, maybe I gotta look up.
So months before y'all had any rain.
Yeah, but the thing that's horrible that's coming out, like, it's been known for years, and all these families fought for so long to protect the water from Lahaina because it's actually a marshland, it's a wetland. But the West Maui Land Co. and Alexander and Baldwin, they are people that have been diverting the water from Lahaina they own a lot of Lahaina, or like the property in Maui. And so they had been kind of taken away from Lahaina. So it's gotten a lot drier. It never should be like that. It's I don't know if it's getting diverted to like golf courses or what, but the biggest thing that I'm hearing from the locals right now is they're fighting to keep their water because 24 hours after the fires, the West Maui Land Corporation and Alexander and Baldwin began like diverting the water, trying to take over these proclamation, or like there's like these laws that protect water that they fought for. And
yeah, water rights kind of, and this is the water flowing off of the mountain there, right? Is that what it is?
It should just be super, super green. It should not be dry like that. So that contributed to the fire, and people that owned the land around Lahaina that just were making money off sugarcane plantations, exploiting kind of the land, then they stopped doing that, and they never filled the land in with anything else. So it was just dry grass. And that's what Lahaina looks like on a map. I can't believe it, because it should be super, super lush
like this,
from those
like the mountains.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what you're saying is they're diverting the water flow from this mountain to go this direction toward Maui.
No, I don't know where. Maybe up north there. Like the richest parts are maybe Wailea and Kapalua, and those still look pretty green to me. Kind of north and east. Where's Wailea? I don't know where they're diverting it to, but not to Lahaina as much as that they should, or maybe they were, but now they're definitely trying to grab that water back. I understood the whole thing, but I know that's what I'm seeing the most posts about right now is land grabbers and people that are trying to take the water, which contributed to the fire. The fire department didn't even have any water to fight the fire. After a while, they lagged on turning on some other source. Yeah. And then when they turned on, it was contaminated, so people can't even drink the water there anymore. It's crazy. But you got to be careful. And
they got a pretty big water source right here, but
I don't know why you can't use the.
How does the fire department run out of water? Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't understand.
I do know when I use salt in my garden to kill stuff, it kills everything,
and
nothing ever grows. So maybe they're not using salt water on those lands because it will.
But for an emergency backup plan like they just had, is salt water is going to be better than what happened.
Oh, I think this is it. They couldn't use helicopters during the fire because of the wind. I think they do take those big scoops out of the ocean and maybe people's pools and I don't know what. But I know that they couldn't do that during the fire because of the wind.
Yeah. Yeah, I get why they couldn't get the aerial aid in there, but again, they could tap their hoses in and trucks into the salt water and get it there.
Yeah, definitely something to maybe have.
I mean, I'm sitting here as Monday morning armchair quarterback.
Yeah.
I'm sure there's reasons, and they probably make sense, but at the same time,
they might not have been able to access a lot of the roads. It sounds like there was so much congestion and down poles and everything else that, a fire truck's a big ass vehicle, obviously. So to get it through narrow streets and stuff is, that already has power poles and everything down. They might have not even been able to access it.
Yeah. Hold on one second.
Yeah.
I've got something that's gone out here. Can you hear me okay? Check, 1 2 1 2.
Yeah. Check.
Yeah, the left side has gone out for some reason. I don't understand that. I didn't hit anything, I don't think, but all right, I'll fix it in post.
Government sending in a bug.
Yeah, we can't critique, what happened there. So from when it started, Becky, to when you made it to the bay, to that I don't know the name.
Harbor.
The harbor of. Say it again.
Maalaea Harbor. Yeah.
There. How many hours? How many days did that take you to get from Lahaina?
Yeah. So from the fire till I got to the other side was probably almost 20 hours or something like that. I don't know. Let me think. It was we didn't get to the other side till the next day. But, time is so hard right now because I didn't have.
Yeah, and you guys had a vehicle that you traveled most of the way, too. And you're saying there's people that walked it. That's crazy.
Yeah, and we would have given them a ride, but we were parked. We didn't know that we could even drive the poly. We didn't see any cars coming like in or out, basically. When they started evacuating Laniapoko, there was a huge rush of cars. And me and my friend were just like at a loss. And I saw crazy like trees roll across the highway. Like the power lines were all about to fall. Like you didn't know what to expect on the poly. And I just heard that the other side was on fire too. So I didn't see going to the other side as any sort of good option.
Yeah.
But if there was information on the radio, or that would have been helpful. Or like.
Yeah, but like you said, I mean, I guess the people in the radio stations had to evacuate too, because, I mean, I'm not going to sit there and update people if I'm on fire.
The mayor and all of them, I heard, didn't even really have any idea what had happened to Lahaina till like 12 hours later. They were even giving interviews as people were jumping in the water on Front Street, and the mayor Bison was saying, you know, he just was talking, giving this interview, not even having any idea that Lahaina was like burnt to the ground at this point. It's crazy, the lack of communication and
unbelievable.
I'm pretty sure all of them, the mayor, the governor, the emergency, the guy in charge of like sounding the alarms, they were all off island at the time, which it's like hurricane season in August. So I can't imagine why they would have left or not just sent someone in their place to these FEMA meetings that they were attending. It's crazy. No one was there.
And how many miles away were they from this, would you say?
They were on another island in Waikiki.
Oh, so they weren't on the island.
On another island of Hawaii.
I gotcha.
So it's like I don't know how long it takes to fly, maybe like 25 minutes. It's not a far flight from Oahu to Maui. But they waited till like the next day to come back. And then he resigned the very next day after saying he didn't regret sounding the alarms.
Oh, yet he resigns.
For health reasons.
The governor,
people
are going to kill his ass. That's his health reasons.
Yeah. I heard also maybe he had been drinking and partying at that meeting. So maybe that's his health reason too. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, there probably needs to be an investigation into that. Even though he resigned, there still needs to be an investigation on that with criminal allegations and charges.
Definitely. And the governor and the mayor and the chief of police. Maybe.
And the land barons that were diverting the water. Yeah. I bet all that'll get swept under the rug though. You know?
Yeah, hopefully not. Today I feel like coming more to light that the like Hawaii Board of Education is saying that there's like 2,000 kids that haven't enrolled in school yet. So they're definitely hoping to get some answers on where all the missing youth is and why the mayor's like not really answering that question.
At this point in time, how many people are dead? Over 200?
So I wrote it down. I think they're saying 115 are confirmed dead. And then they're saying like 48 of those people, their families have been identified or like notified.
Right.
But I know that it's really hard to release numbers, I'm sure. But I feel like they should by now have a better idea. And I heard the FBI came out with a better list, but it did not include any of the minors. And the education department released that they had originally had 300 students signed up to start the school year. And they have 2,200 kids that have not been accounted for or enlisted, that aren't signed up to. Yeah. And, everything is so much information and some of it's misinformation, but because the governor and the mayor aren't giving clear answers and saying they don't know it's opening the door to all these things that you don't know if they're true or not. And if that is true, or if not, they should produce a list of kids that are missing, because it should be like the biggest concern.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
But isn't there still like 800 people unaccounted for right now?
Like, yeah, like the numbers are good. Yeah, they said, it was weird. They said 1,000. Then they said, Maui said 850. Then the FBI said, no, it's 1,050. Then the FBI released this list finally with only 388 names on it. And I knew a couple of the people on it that were, I'm pretty sure, alive. So I was a little suspicious of this list. And then they're saying, like yesterday, that they cleared 100 people off this list of 388 names. But I'm wondering, why did they only release 388 names if there's 1,000 people that have been claimed to be missing? I don't know. The lists are just so unclear.
Conflicting.
And it's been weeks.
Yeah, that sounds like government. Yeah. Says, here's New York Times. Officials release list of 388 people missing from Maui fires. Here's ABC. 1,100 people.
Yeah.
So
it's like, what?
388, 1,100, and you're saying there's over 2,000 children not being.
I'm saying that for some reason their parents either haven't enrolled them to go to school, which I know parents are desperate for daycare or any. They have, it's hard enough to survive over there right now, but when you have your little kids with you, it's hard. So they were trying to come up with some daycare solutions. The weirdest part of all of it for me is really the kids and the fact that they were told day of, because of the wind, not to go to school for the first day of school. And they were all left at home while their parents went to work. And then now they're not even really talking about how they're going to get all these kids in school, that their schools is burned down. There's not really a lot of talk of that or funding where we're going to put these schools at and get these kids into school, because it's so crazy to think of all these kids out of school for weeks and weeks and weeks and no normalcy. And it's just like getting no attention. It's crazy to me.
Yeah.
Like,
here's a NBC News as far as the death toll. They're saying 114 people have been confirmed dead, and estimate over 1,000 more could still be unaccounted for. Which I get it. I mean, during this, people were just going wherever as fast as they could to get out of there. So people are really displaced right now.
Yeah, but they can only go so far, right?
Yeah, they would have found by now.
I mean, you would think, but again, the communications are probably still down, right? I don't think they've got comms
there
back
was
up.
like a couple places you could go. Like, there's only a few hubs, and yeah, I can't imagine.
And think about all the people that went into the ocean, and you see pictures. Yeah. You see pictures of that, and I guarantee you, I mean, at least one person probably died from that. So,
well, just the exposure.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, like sharks. Are there sharks in that area?
Yes, there are definitely sharks in that area, and people getting into the water.
The tide pulling them out. The current.
90, seriously, like 90 mile an hour, offshore winds. So they're blowing you out to sea, to open ocean. There's 2 islands you might be able to get to. But man, I looked on a map and there is just nothing. And I don't even know. There had to have been so many people just like me that thought, and I'm hearing their stories, of them like in their cars, and they're all like, we'll just go to the ocean. We'll just, we'll swim out, thinking like, and a lot of those people did survive, but where are all the others that jumped into the ocean, and how will we ever know who did?
There'll be people that will never be found because the current carries them out. They get eaten by the sea life.
Oh my God. Hypothermia. Because a lot of the people that jumped into the ocean, they had to wait 8 hours, 5 hours to be rescued. So they literally had to climb on the rocks and get near the fire enough to just warm up while getting like burned by embers.
Yeah.
But they had no choice. They were literally going to die from just being in the ocean for that long. Like I get cold surfing after like 2 minutes if there's any wind at all.
Yeah.
You know, I can't even imagine have gotten into the ocean that day and how dirty it was. And there was like just the grossest things going into the water, in the air. I just feel so bad for those people that I don't know how they'll ever get past that experience of going into the ocean that day. Or
yeah, but that's
like,
the thing. I mean, that as the time goes on too, and these people, you know, still say there's like 1,000 or so missing. Just curious how many of those probably ended up there and met their demise in the ocean itself. I don't know.
Yeah, I feel like most of the people, unfortunately, I feel like they were asleep in their homes. I feel like because it was so loud from the wind all day, I don't even know how you'd have any idea there was a fire, because all the sounds were muffled and you had been hearing explosions, trees fall on houses, crazy stuff all day. And you were in your room with all the doors closed, all the like windows closed.
No power, no lights.
No power, no communication, no phone. I bet you most of the people were the people that were just like up Lahaina Luna, in their homes, totally unaware. Or maybe by the time they were aware, they only got as far as their cars.
Yeah.
And they were just like, it's crazy. If they would have had that alone, so many people would be alive or had a chance or even just been aware to make any decision, you know, but they were probably asleep or just had not even a second
didn't have a clue.
to think.
Yeah, because it happened so fast. Those winds blow that fire so fast. So you had mentioned earlier, you were talking about maybe hindsight, you know, thinking back, you should have done this, you should have done that. So what do you or would you have done knowing what you just went through? How would you have prepared for that? How could you prepare for that to better survive it?
Yeah, one thing is,
and you survived it. Congratulations to you. You did survive it. So.
Yeah.
Good for you.
Thank you so much. I am grateful for that, but I got to say, anybody first off in that situation, it makes it a lot easier to survive if you helped, if you didn't just panic, that you have the mindset of having things under control because you thought about it and being prepared. And you have your go bag of stuff and you've thought of where you're going to go. You know, people say, I bet so many families were spread out, you know, not together when it occurred.
Oh yeah.
So
like you said, some people went to work and left their kids at home.
Yeah. And normally you're just like the night before I was working on Front Street, till 9 at night. Like everyone I know is just spread out all the time.
Are you saying Front, F-R-O-N-T, Front Street?
Yeah.
Okay. I thought you were saying French Street.
Sorry.
No, that's fine.
Yeah, I heard you say.
I got you. I was looking for French Street on that map. I couldn't find French Street. And I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah, Front Street. It's just like the street that you'll see a lot with the burnt out cars.
Yeah.
I worked on Front Street the night before, and I just can't even imagine if we were open that day. I'm really thankful the power was shut off because I keep thinking of all the people on Front Street, and I have to remind myself that they were probably not at work because the power was off. I don't know. I know a lot of people ran towards their businesses on Front Street to try to save them, and there was no water's no way to do that. So, but yeah, I have to try to remember, okay, the power was out that day. Things that were not normal. But yeah, I really regret, the second I heard there was a hurricane coming or a natural disaster possibly, because not all disasters are foreseen, but some are, like when it's hurricane season and it's a drought and you have something coming. Don't expect someone to tell you to prepare. Just have that ready. You know, have water, I'm a big fan right now of fireproof blankets. I don't know why, but I just kept thinking of how badly I wish I had one. And like a fire extinguisher, I don't know, maybe in your car, like,
sure,
because I saw a lot of people in their car, fires starting around them and them saying, I wish we had brought the fire extinguisher. I saw people putting out fires with their water bottle or their slippers, like saving all these people in their cars from little, but yeah, having something to protect you from fire or flood or anything like that. And then some water. I have no idea where my passport, my birth certificate, and social security card were all in different places at the time. So, and you have no time to think, and you shouldn't think about stuff like that. But in the long run, when you start trying to get assistance or say get a flight, you need identification, and you're going to need something like that. So having that stuff somewhere, you know where it is,
having
it's
a go
easily
bag.
accessible.
Have a go bag ready to go for those emergencies. Especially like you said, when you know that it's hurricane season right now, and everybody in Florida knows that hurricanes are going to be hitting, the islands. Hurricanes are coming, and yet there are still people that have been there for years that just wait to the very last second to either bug out or they decide to ride it out. They wait to the last second to do that, and then they're scrambling, and they put themselves in jeopardy. And then, the people who risk their lives to come in and save them have to, again, risk their lives to come in because they made stupid decisions and they didn't get out when they were given plenty of time. And, stupidity, hubris, I guess, human hubris. I don't know what it is, but, planning ahead of time when you have the ability to do that, getting that go bag ready, getting your credentials, like you said, the passport, your credit cards, cash, and having a bag ready to go, and then having a evacuation plan, like you were talking about earlier, is like, and having several evacuation plans. Like, if this is blocked, then this is my route 2, this is my route 3. And have a place, a destination that you're going to go. Like you said, a meeting place.
Yes.
For your loved ones, your family, and just for yourself. It's like, if hurricane comes in, this is my plan. If it's a fire, this is my plan. And you have to plan for the unknown. If it's just an unknown where I have to be out in minutes or seconds, I've got my stuff, I've got my bag, I can grab it, and I can go knowing that that's going to get me at least, I would plan for at least 3 days, 3 days water, 3 days food.
Yeah, you never know.
Hey, Lead Heads, Dwight Settle with Seal One. Just here to talk to you and tell you a little bit about our product. Seal One CLP Plus is a bio-based, non-toxic product. It comes in a paste, liquid, aerosol, and pre-saturated bore-specific patches called sealskins. They all do the same thing, just different methods of application. The best way to use our product is to start with a clean firearm. There's 2 reasons why I say that. First, you start with the Seal One CLP Plus by field stripping your firearm and covering the entire firearm inside and out, bore, barrel, everything with the Seal One CLP Plus. You'll see how easy it spreads around. You'll want to wait about 15 to 20 minutes. Then you come back and you want to wipe it all off. So you see how easy it is to put on and remove. And the second reason we say to use a clean firearm is you'll find that it's not clean. We're going to pull out more carbon that's been left behind with whatever product you've been using before. Okay, it takes about 3 cleanings. So I like to say a clean shoot, clean shoot, clean shoot, just normal usage before the Seal One CLP Plus has removed whatever product that you were using before and has seasoned the firearm. It's kind of like breaking in a cast iron skillet. And after that first cleaning, you will notice a difference. And with each successive cleaning, you will find that it gets easier and easier to clean. Seal One CLP Plus is a dry lubricant and is designed to work as such. You will find that malfunctions are virtually eliminated when used properly, because the majority of all malfunctions are caused to carbon buildup. And with the Seal One CLP Plus, the carbon does not build up. Seal One CLP Plus is safe on all metals, plastics, composites, polymers, rubber, wood, and leather. Seal 1 CLP Plus is a one-and-done formulation. No other products are required or needed to clean and lubricate and protect your firearm. That's why we say Seal 1 and done. Seal 1 is a proud sponsor of the Talking Lead podcast and the Lead Head Brigade. Use the code LEADHEAD for a 25% off discount.
Yeah, and you had mentioned that when you and your friend left the house, you didn't drive. You headed out on foot, and you said you regretted that. Why did you regret that? What would you have done different there?
Well, one, I had a car, but it did get totaled several years ago, just being parked on this, by my house. And so I never got another car, and I don't recommend that for anyone. I thought we were going to die because of my lack of preparedness, not having a vehicle, a reliable vehicle. That was something really key in that moment. We didn't want to just break down on the poly or not have any gas to get all the way around.
Yeah.
So having a really reliable vehicle, maybe that's already common sense for everyone, but
well,
in
it's
the
not,
island,
because people they put it off. They'll put off getting their tires done. They'll put off getting, the starter fixed, or it's like, I can do that later. Well, just like you're pointing out right now, had you had good, reliable transportation, then, that could have gotten you out probably a lot quicker, and you probably could have picked some people up along the way and saved save them some grief and whatnot as well. But that's things people don't think about, but they need to think about is the vehicle that you drive, you need to keep it up.
Yeah. And maybe I always used to get just a little bit of gas. I couldn't tell you how scary it was the whole time. I kept asking my friend, how much gas do we have left? Because we started with a half tank and we had been driving around in circles, and I was just super scared, so I would never, if I ever own a car, I'm going to have like a lot of gas in it.
Well, it's not only that, but you want to have gas cans,
Yes.
10, 15 gallons of gas that you can grab quickly and put in your vehicle as you go. Because, again, when a catastrophe happens, everybody's going to be doing the same thing, trying to get out, trying to bug out, and there's going to be people that aren't prepared, and they're going to be at that gas station, and you're not going to be able to get gas. You'll be prepared. Yeah. You'll have the gas. You'll have your water. You'll have your food. You'll have everything in your to-go bags, and you just throw it in your vehicle if that's a viable option at the time to get out, and then you can hit the road and you can go and you can beat that traffic out.
Yeah, man, and have some, maybe know the roads in your area. Don't rely on the main roads, because if something happens with power lines or whatever confusion and miscommunication there was, that the roads weren't really that accessible.
Yeah, you can never count on the main thoroughfares for catastrophes, because everybody's going to be using those to evacuate, and they're going to be backed up. So your evacuation plan, you need to have secondary, third, fourth roads that maybe people don't know about. And again, you're talking about knowing your roads, knowing your traffic. You need to get a printed map also. That's something that's crucial, is to have a Rand McNally. I don't know if I'm sure they still make maps, but people are so reliant on their cell phones. But like you just said, you didn't have service. You didn't have internet. You didn't have cell phone service. You couldn't use, your little do all, save all, little cell phone here. This is what everybody's relying on right now. It's like, I can, always call somebody I can call an Uber. No, you're not going to be able to. And you prove that beyond a shadow of a doubt right there, is that you didn't have
useless.
That. Yeah.
Yeah, it's useless when
absolutely
it comes
useless.
down
So have a printed map. Have a good old-fashioned paper and ink map. And I'm sure you can get online today and order one, or go to a gas station. I don't know. I haven't seen one in for years. I've got an old one that's, you remember those big giant, you're not going to remember this, Rebecca, because you're too young, but Jerod, those giant Rand McNally of the United States.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I've seen those recently, because I buy those like Cabela's and Sportsman's Warehouse, those types of places. They usually have a map section that you can buy, like the general U.S. maps.
Yeah. Yeah, so a good printed, up-to-date as you can get map, especially of your area, but of the whole of the United States would be great, because when you're bugging out for a catastrophe disaster, you know, you never know where you're going to need to go.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's funny you'd mention that McNally guy. I just read the most beautiful quote by him, and I read that he made the maps, and I was like, oh, that's awesome. I think it was him that said Hawaii is like going from black and white to color. I was like, oh, that's so cool. And now it's funny because the pictures all look black and white. Every picture I see of Lahaina, it's now lack of color, burned.
It got burned, yeah, absolutely. I was seeing some pictures on the news before we got on. It's still, you know, big in the news there. That's where I heard about the electric company blaming the county and the county blaming the electric company. I just had seen that.
Yeah.
Speaking of disasters, there was a big earthquake just then. Actually, they're building a subdivision across the street over here, and they're blasting. And every day about this time, shakes the whole subdivision.
Do you have a go bag?
I have several go bags. I do.
That's the problem, though. He's going to stare at all 20 of them, trying to figure out which one to take and waste his whole time there, right?
Well, I have them strategically placed, so I don't have to run, so I can just grab one at any time, any place. And I have one in my car also. There's one that stays, that's just dedicated to stay in my car. And, you know, not just food, not just water, but you also need medical supplies.
Yes.
So just good basic medical supplies, alcohol, hydrogen peroxide, cotton swabs, bandages, gauze. You need some good clippers, good scissors, good strong scissors. So yeah, I mean these are things, and we've talked about this on the show before, but it's, you know, get into that mindset that I'll do it tomorrow. Well, that's when the disaster is going to happen. That's when catastrophe is going to strike, is when you least expect it. So you want to be ready for it and expecting it. And there's no better time than to do that today. Mm-hmm. And there are all kinds of websites that you can go to get, you know, all the things that you need. There's places that have water, long-term storage water, long-term storage food. 4Patriots. Again, you go to 4patriots.com. They've got all kinds of great items. You need power. Like you said, you didn't have power. Your phone, you know, could have died on you. Even, you know, if your phone's working, you don't want to have power for it. You want to have batteries for your flashlight, so you need light. You know, because like you said, the power's going to be out. You're going to lose power in a catastrophe, in a disaster. So you're going to need some source of light, whether it's flashlight, it's a lantern. You know, you want to get extra batteries, store up on your batteries, and rotate them out ever so often, because batteries go dead. And, you know, these, I don't have one handy, but, you know, those little power banks that you can charge up. Keep a couple of those charged up and keep them in your go bags.
Seriously. With
the wires, the USB connectors thingies. I used to have all that. I usually have all that stuff laying here, and I can grab it and show it, but it's displaced right now.
I just taught a go bag class last week with my buddies at Free Wind Defense, and one of the things that we get into is the lighting portion of it, right? And one of the best options that you can get is I use those the white chem lights, you know, white glow sticks. Keep them in your bags.
Yeah,
they last for hours and hours. They pretty much never die. But you can signal with them. You have enough light to see, but there's no batteries. They're lightweight. They're compact.
Right.
You know.
Absolutely.
And that's a great option for lighting.
Yeah, everybody needs to have that in their go bags. Definitely.
Another thing that I want to add, I'm super thankful Hawaii has managed to come together how they have, and they haven't heard very much, even with like little aid and a little panic on how they were going to get medicine and water and gas. They've kept super, super peaceful. There's been like no crazy looting or rifts or anything, but I know that you think, why are these people still staying there? It's because that's all they have left. Those homes, say above Laniapoko, that are still there, and those people want to protect what they have left. You can't just like leave your home, the only home you know, and you don't even know.
Yeah. And
so you have to protect your house, which a lot of people, I can understand if you don't have anywhere else to go. Like when you evacuate, it's such a hopeless feeling. You're like, wow, it's terrible.
It's a
so
lost
I get
feeling. Yeah, you're just lost.
And maybe you even want to stay and know what happened to your home or try to water it down. But anyways, I just feel that protecting what you have, I feel like having some little firearm or some sort of firearm to feel protected. Hopefully you never have to use it. And luckily Hawaii is not like, but yeah, I think I asked my sister if she would please get me a little handgun, because just in your go bag, I don't know, but
absolutely, you need some form of protection, because what else happens during these disasters and these catastrophes and these riots? You know, people start looting and stealing, and they take what they want. You know, if you've got your water and you've got your food, you know, somebody else is going to want that doesn't have it, and they'll try to take it from you, and they will kill you to try and get that. So, you know, this is Talking Lead, we are a 2A proponent show, and we advocate carrying every day on your person to protect yourself responsibly. Do it responsibly, but that you should also have maybe an extra one in your go bag in case something happens to the one that's on you. You definitely want to have, if you're going to carry, you're going to want to have extra ammunition for your firearm. I recommend that if you're carrying firearms, that you keep them all the same calibers as well, and same brand. So this magazine will fit in my go bag gun magazine, the same ammo that it uses. So
yeah, because could you imagine if something like this happened in SoCal? Like I'm so, the people of Hawaii are amazing, and I hope they inspire others to be like, oh, okay, if we're ever in a disaster, our community can actually help us.
Louisiana is a great example.
What with the response,
with the riots, and the people stealing and looting, and people needed to protect themselves.
Yeah,
you know, they needed their fire, but yet the police were coming in, confiscating people's guns and taking them away from them. I mean, taking away their ability to protect themselves. It's just ludicrous.
Wow. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, just having some sort of, when you have no home, or when you have a home and that's all you have, I don't know. It's just any form of protection is comforting.
But there are other forms. I mean, if you're not comfortable with a firearm, and you know, you're just completely against it, that's your choice, and that's your, you know, if you want to do that. But there are other ways you can do it. There's mace. You can get mace. You know, that bear mace is great stuff to, you know,
definitely
spray on somebody, protect yourself.
Yeah.
You know, a knife. I don't know how you feel about knives, but you know, a knife, a blade. But there are other forms of tasers.
So many cases. Mm-hmm.
You know, there's tasers. So there are other ways that you can protect yourself other than firearms. But of course, most of our listeners are going to be leaning toward firearms, and that's fine.
Maybe like a noisemaker too. You know, those like
noisemaker.
Like woo woo.
You get a recording of Joe Biden cocking his shotgun, and maybe that'll scare everybody off.
Cocking his double barrel shotgun.
Yeah, his double barrel shotgun.
It's crazy. I saw this short video, and it was a couple locals, and they started getting into a kind of road rage incident, you know, and it ended with them totally apologizing, like, knuckle pounds, have a good day. Like, I was scared watching the video, like, oh no, you know,
that they're gonna go at it.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And the guy just says, hey, you know, I'm sorry, my kids, you know, I'm just worried about them. And they were like, knuckle pound, okay, have a good day. It's like the Hawaiian people are like, really, they're a warrior nation, but they're like the kindest, chillest people. Totally not about violence, I feel.
Yeah. I think for the most part, most humans are that way.
Yeah,
they don't want confrontation. They don't want, they don't want violence, but sometimes there's a need for it. And if your life is in danger, your loved ones' lives are in danger, then, the human instinct kicks in, and people will do things that they wouldn't normally do in everyday life to protect themselves and their family.
Mm-hmm.
You have to be on guard of that and be willing to protect yourself and your family. But preparedness is, kind of what this is about, because this is, again, hurricane season. We have all these crazy fires happening all over the world. I just heard that Greece is burning. There's mad wildfires going on in Greece. Of course, we just had them up in Canada. In the news right now, Louisiana is having some crazy wildfires. Up north, California and northwestern United States, there's bunch of wildfires going on up there too. And I think obviously in Hawaii's case, this is something that hasn't happened. It's not an every year occurrence kind of thing, that type of fire, but there are fires that happen. Texas is another. We were going to have Ton on. He's still threatening to jump on. But Ton was going to talk to us about some fires that he'd been through there in Texas. And, they could happen anywhere. I mean, you could get just an electrical fire in your house and have, a fire. That's another reason you're only going to have seconds to get out of your house, get your loved ones out of your house. And if you don't have an evacuation plan for that and a meeting place for your family, then, it's going to be a lot worse had you not been prepared. So get with your family and work out an evacuation plan. If there's ever a house fire, you need to have exits, multiple exits, ways to get out of your house, and that everyone can get out. And then you've got a meeting place outside your house where everybody meets up. And then that way everybody meets up. There's somebody missing. Then you've got to go in, you got to help. So being prepared is what it's all about.
And keep an eye out for your neighbor.
Yeah, keeping an eye out for your neighbor as well. There are a lot of neighborhoods and we've had Jay on. You guys know Jay from the AK Corner, and Brian Keeney, and we've done a couple of episodes on, doing neighborhood fire teams, where this neighbor is going to be responsible for this neighbor's responsible for this item. If something comes into their neighborhood that's a threat to them and their neighborhood, where it's natural disaster or man made kind of deal. We were talking about this during the riots. It's kind of what brought up the topic and the subject that we were doing. And, each neighbor's got a responsibility. They're going to be responsible for this, but then they also have their evacuation plans, their meetup plans, and all that too. So not only with, like Becky was saying, with your immediate family, but with your neighbors too. If you've got a strong neighborhood like that you can do something like that with, then even better. Good for you. But there are a lot of subdivisions where
get out.
Like I don't get along with my neighbors. And I got a lot of people from California that have moved in next to me. One of the neighbors, there was this mangy fox running around the subdivision. I was gonna just take it out. I was gonna shoot it. But the neighbors were like, "Oh no, let's call in animal control and let's have them come get it and see if they can save it and rescue it." And I was like, "How many dogs do you have? How many kids do you have? And you want this mangy thing running around risking their lives?" So you're idiots. So
yeah, they're like protected sometimes.
But so you specifically, Becky, you didn't have a go bag at the time. So you and your friend, you just grabbed a couple of waters, left with the clothes on your back, hoping for the best.
Yeah, what's funny is I actually, right before the fire, I had started packing a bag because I was supposed to fly to see my sister and her new baby the next day, or the day of the fire, but I was not sure if the planes, whatever, there was no communication.
Yeah, you had no idea. Maybe the airport's burning. You didn't know.
Yeah. So right before the fire, I actually was like, maybe I should pack a bag. And I started packing to go to California for a week or so. And but when it came time to run, I knew that none of that stuff was going to inhibit me from,
Right.
like I needed hands free. I needed,
your week-long bag that you packed was going to be prohibitive for you from fleeing that
it wasn't full
scenario.
Like, yeah, it's weird when something like that happens now, I know, but at that time all I could think was that I didn't need anything. I remember grabbing a water bottle from the trash, filling it up with some water. I couldn't even find a lid for it. I grabbed the dog, a leash, and I looked at my bag, but I just knew that I couldn't grab it. There was nothing. I knew I was probably going to have to carry my dog, which was small, but my friend, I didn't even think to ask him to put anything in his bag. I think all he really grabbed was peanut butter, unfortunately, and 2 more little water bottles.
Hey, peanut butter's good. I love peanut butter.
Yeah, but he grabbed...
It's probably the best peanut butter you ever had in this day.
I was boggled by what he grabbed. I think he is too, because he didn't even grab his wallet. I think he maybe thought it was in the bag, or it didn't even occur to him. So he had no credit card, no ID, no phone.
Well, that's the thing. When disaster, catastrophe happens, you get tunnel vision. And,
yes.
You got the flight mentalities, like, I got to get out of here. And you're not thinking about wallets, and you're thinking about just getting the hell out.
Yeah.
That's why you do go bags. That's why the important thing, because you don't have to think about it. You've already got everything in your bag.
Yeah.
You grab your bag, not your big Louis Vuitton going to California for a week bag. But unless you got a car and you can throw it in this car, but like you said, it's too big of a burden for if you're just heading out on foot. But a backpack, a nice, comfortable backpack, which, yes. By the way, Mission First Tactical has some very nice backpacks. They've got they call them I always forget the name of them. It means kind of gray man or indistinguishable in Latin. And they are called I'm stalling. Here they go. The Acros, ACHRO, Acro bags. And they've got 3 different sizes. They got like a 30 liter, a 22 liter, and they got a sling bag, which this is my EDC bag right here. This is their Acro sling bag. And I keep my firearm in here, my Glock. I keep flashlight. This is where I keep my wallet, because I know it's in there. It's there when I need it. I've got some extra food. I've got like granola bars and things like that, just a couple little extra. Did somebody do something? I heard something.
No.
I keep my knife. Got my knife in there. I've got an extra med kit that I keep outside of that. I don't keep it in it, but I always keep that in the car. But I do have a few like bandages and things like that in there, not a full-blown med kit, but just my everyday EDC, where I take that wherever I go. If I go to the gym, I go to a restaurant, I go out to eat, that bag's always with me, and it's got just quick essential type things that I need in there. My go bags. Say again.
Is it waterproof?
This is water resistant.
Nice.
It's got a nice little water resistant covering on it. It's padded. I can put a small laptop in there. This little whatever these things are, Surface Pros, fits right in there. I got my Surface Pro. Throw my chargers in there. I've got an extra battery pack, power pack. If I lose power, then I've got to charge my phone to run my laptop. Kind of deal.
That's a good idea.
Yeah.
I wish I'd done that.
So, just even something like that is, will get you through, a quick disaster. But you never know. A disaster strikes, you never know how long it's going to last. So that's why I always recommend at least 3 days of food, water supply for a, if I know I got to get the hell out of here and I got to go now, and throw it on and go. But yeah, good, reliable. I mean, the bag needs to be reliable too. You need to have a good, reliable bag that you're going to carry with you.
Out of all those people in the ocean, and they're trying to document what's going on so people know like how they died, I assume. But they didn't, luckily. But they're kind of documenting with their phones, and I was thinking like, I can't imagine you had to get into the ocean with all your belongings, and they're just destroyed.
Yeah.
Like water. I don't know. Don't ever jump in water in an emergency. I just can't imagine that ever being a good idea. But luckily, some of those people did, and they did make it. But the water is very scary.
Well, again, it's that instinct to survive.
Yeah.
And fire. What fights fire? Water. I mean, it just logically in their mind, they're like, let me get in the water.
Yeah, unless there's gasoline on the water, like it's just.
Oh yeah, I saw
craziness.
Pictures and photos of waves that were on fire.
Yes, that is very weird to me. Very weird.
Yeah, but just like you said, it's the gas and everything, all that crap that's getting into the ocean at that point. The boats that were probably catching fire and exploding, the gas stations, and just getting in the ocean, and then.
Yeah. It's crazy.
Becky, what's the status? Like, you left your house, and what happened to your neighborhood? Like, what happened to your home? What happened to all that area that you left originally?
Yeah, it's dust. There's nothing left. Nothing. Of my home or any of the homes I've had since I moved to Lahaina, or any of my jobs, both my works are dust. There's nothing. Actually, one of my roommates got to go to the house 3 days later. They kind of opened it for a couple hours, and then they said no, and they blocked it off, right? And my friend had gone to our house because you don't really believe anything's really gone until you see it with your own eyes. It's really hard to have someone tell you that your house is gone. You're like, no. And so my friend went there, and I don't think he found really anything. There was nothing salvageable at all. There was, though, I had all these shells that I'd collected in sea glass for like 10 years in a bowl in our room. And that was one of the only things that I think it's the only thing he took back. And it all melted into one piece. But everything else was burnt to total ash. It's crazy. There was like nothing.
And there's pictures on the interwebs that you guys can go, your listeners can go and pull up and look, but I'm not going to do that here. They're out there.
So, there's a house. So I read this in the Paradise Fires. Of the homes that did survive, they were made past like 1992. So one way to protect your home in a fire, like for example, my neighbors, their house is standing. I have no idea. And they are there. Like they have a baby. I wish I had told them to evacuate. But when my friend went 3 days later, he said they were there in their home and they offered him a mask. I couldn't believe it. No one had evacuated them. They stayed, probably had no choice. They were surrounded by the inferno, and the husband must have used his hose and just sprayed his house down. I have no idea how they saved their house, but I was also thinking, I do know that it's a newer home. So building your home, getting your roof, like, a newer, updated, that saved those homes that did survive. I bet you, just like Paradise Fire.
I think those people were just lucky, and the wind, because it doesn't matter if those kind of fires, it's going to take everything.
I
can't fathom how their house survived and that they are there.
Luck of God.
What? But yeah, I imagine I've heard people spraying their stuff down, and this one guy is a hero, man. Talk about heroes. I hope everyone in Lahaina is a hero. Like seriously, the homeless people stepped up even and were like helping people get out of the fire. Yeah. They were helping people, find people, like everyone in the community, bartenders are like my friend Jeff. He's like running an entire hub over there. Like people that are just stepping up out of total non-experience, just good people. It's crazy. I just run on tangents. I'm sorry if I.
What were you going to say, Jerod? Jerod was going to say something.
No, it's interesting how the disasters work, because a year and a half ago, my little town here in Texas got hit with an F3 category 3 tornado. And it was like the first tornado to ever land in our town. And it took out, 100 and something homes. And I live in an older house, and all the houses in my street are newer. And I lost like some shingles, but it was the opposite effect for me. My neighbor's roof was in my backyard. I didn't have a single broken window, and my house is old. I think there's like, but it depends. It's just that one little shift can just change the course of a fire or whatever. And of course it's luck, right?
Yeah.
But I'd rather be lucky than good, right? And so it's what Mother Nature's going to do at that exact second, because 10 feet away, it could be doing something completely different.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. But speaking of, you were talking about the alarms and the warning systems. Here's a little thing on 4Patriots website. It says, how come you get an alert on your phone when you've taken your 55,000th step of the day, but sometimes people don't even receive warnings when a disaster is about to strike? Numerous times in recent years, government emergency alert systems have completely failed the people who pay for those systems with tax dollars. This isn't about alerts that tell people there's a sale at JCPenney. It's about severe weather and other emergency alerts designed to give people time to escape or take other action. Let's look at the latest disaster alert failure first. When we're done, I'll remind you that counting on the government or alert systems is risky. Sirens silent in Hawaii. The recent wildfires in Hawaii were fueled by extremely dry conditions and winds whipped up by Hurricane Dora in the Pacific Ocean. As of this writing, more than 100 people have died and hundreds are missing. Well, almost 1,000 is what they're saying now. That makes it the deadliest wildfire in the United States since the Camp Fire in California in 2018.
Yeah.
And the deadliest disaster in Hawaii.
Which is where we're from, too.
You from that area?
That whole campfire thing was where Becky and I grew up.
Oh, damn.
Yeah.
And it's the deadliest disaster in Hawaii since tsunami killed more than 150 people in 1946. The fires are projected to be the second costliest disaster in Hawaii history, behind only Hurricane Iniki?
Yeah.
Iniki in 1992. The incredibly fast-moving flames, recorded at more than 60 miles per hour, made it very difficult for people to escape. What made it even more challenging was the lack of sirens from the emergency alert system. Phone alerts were inactive or weren't ineffective. Inexplicably, Hawaii emergency management records show no evidence that warning sirens sounded before people were running for their lives. Say the name of your town again?
Lahaina.
One Lahaina resident who lost her home in the blaze told this to the Associated Press. There was no warning. There was absolutely none. Nobody came around. We didn't see a fire truck or anybody. Other survivors made similar statements. They claimed they did not hear any sirens or receive any other warnings. Some alerts were sent to phones, plus television and radio stations, according to Hawaii officials, but it's speculated that power outages and cell phone tower damage limited their reach, which is what you were pointing out. Tornado enters without warning. Several months earlier, residents of Sussex and Kent counties in Delaware were not warned about an EF3 tornado. The storm, producing winds of more than 135 miles per hour, killed one, injured others, and damaged more than 60 homes and businesses. The area has no emergency sirens. Folks there are dependent upon cell phones and media alerts, including TV and radio. An alert did not go out, but the National Weather Service later admitted that people in portions of those two counties did not receive them. So it says an alert did go out, but the National Weather Service said that the people didn't receive them. the chemical leaks from those train wrecks. You guys remember those? The big chain in Ohio?
Yeah.
And all the chemical leaks there? You know, people weren't warned about that or given notice about that. So, I mean, there's all kinds, they give all kinds of different zombie apocalypse alert. What's but you guys can go to 4Patriots website. They've got a blog on preparedness. They give you tips and tricks, ideas on how you can better prepare yourself for all kinds of unseen. I mean, just things you wouldn't even think of that you need to be prepared for. And again, you can't be reliant on the government. You cannot rely on the government. You can't rely on them to come save you. You can't rely on them to warn you. You have to be self-sufficient and self-reliant.
Attention business owners, are you ready to take your marketing game to the next level? Look no further than Black Tie Digital Marketing, the firearm-friendly, full-service agency that delivers results. We've worked with industry giants like Keltec, Spikes Tactical, and Armalite, and we even designed the kick-ass new logo at Talkin' Lead. At Black Tie, we blend creativity and data-driven strategies to ensure your message hits the mark every time. From high-end custom websites, graphic design, to inbound marketing campaigns, and everything in between, we've got you covered. Your success is our priority. Join the ranks of the industry's top players and give your business the boost it deserves. Experience the power of Black Tie today. Visit blacktiedigital.com or call 1-800-316-8030 to schedule your free consultation. That's Black Tie Digital Marketing, where firepower meets marketing power. Black Tie Digital Marketing is a proud sponsor of the Talking Lead podcast and the Lead Head Brigade.
And speaking of that, welcome in, Ton Jones.
What's happening, brother?
Did you finally buy your new car? Speaking of disasters.
Yeah, seriously.
Dealing with car dealers. Oh, my gosh.
Yeah.
So, Ton, meet Becky.
Today.
Becky, meet Ton.
Hello, nice to meet you.
Hello, how are you doing?
Ton, have you met Jerod? I thought you guys met on the AK Corner, but I guess you weren't on that episode.
No.
How you doing, bro?
Surviving buying cars.
How do you prepare for that, Ton? How do you prepare? What's your go bag for dealing with a car dealer?
Cigars.
A suitcase full of cash?
Dude. There's no preparation.
So,
really.
Ton, you're here at the very tail end. I wish you could have heard Becky's story. She was in Lahaina?
Yes.
In Lahaina during those fires. She just escaped with her life. Was lucky to get out.
That's insane. I was actually at the dealership talking to my friends that were over there during the fires also, that are being transferred to another set of fires doing wildlife rescue.
Wow.
So,
it's crazy.
Yeah. So, Ton, weren't you involved in one of the Texas fires?
Yeah, we just got done doing a fire rescue out here 3 weeks ago. And I was doing some wildlife rescue out here and doing some wildlife removal. And I work with a bunch of people around the U.S. that work either directly in the fires with smoke jumpers. And then I work with a bunch of people that do wildlife removal and rescue during fires and try to keep people from getting injured from wildlife at the same time. So I do a lot of work with the fire department and wildlife services.
Nice.
It's been
talk about
a very interesting year, to say the least.
Yeah, talk about some of the incidences that you've experienced with the fires there in Texas.
Yeah, the fires here in Texas are a little bit different than most. They're unlike Hawaii is a very scary situation because you're trapped. There's not many places to go, as you know. In Texas, being a flatland area, we went 46 days over 105 degrees, 3 months without rain. And the problem is the grass turns into a powder. And people are trying to fix fences, trying to keep livestock alive, and trying to do stuff just to maintain in this temperature. And what happens is people are welding fences or trying to cut something, or a person breaks down on the side of the road, a fire starts, and just an ember sits into the cracked ground. Fire picks up overnight, and it's such flat land. A small little ember breeze picks up, and a wildfire takes off, creating its own storm, and it just sweeps across the land, and there's nowhere to go.
Like a snowball fire. It just gets bigger and bigger and bigger. And y'all have some strong winds in Texas, too.
Yeah, and we were trying to inform people, don't stand there with your phone trying to take pictures, because we watched people pull over on the side of the road to take pictures and video for social media, and we watched them lose their cars, their kids. A lady actually stood out, walked away from her car to go videotape for social media, and her 2 kids burned to death in her car.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where in Texas are you at, Ton?
I'm just south of Dallas, Fort Worth is where I live.
Wow.
Yeah, people are, the fire season is very unforgiving. 2 things that don't care about humans is fire and water.
Yeah, Mother Nature.
Yep, it's cruel. And the unfortunate thing we're seeing a lot of lately during doing all kinds of human and wildlife rescue is during natural disasters, is what they're actually calling every kind of incident, whether it's fire or water, especially fire right now, whether it's caused by men or not, humans, is people stop, especially in fires. Like we were discussing with some of the search and rescue people in Hawaii, we discussed it. They found a lot of charred bodies with their cell phones in their hands because they were going back and searching social media. And some of the people that were doing the TikTok videos were the casualties of the fire also.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
So that's been one of the big topics that we've been discussing through the search and rescue community, is when it comes to survival, put down your phone and get your butt to safety. Views and likes aren't worth it.
Maybe it was for them. Who knows? They'll never be able to tell us now, will they?
Nope.
Yeah, it's so weird. Like, I remember during the fire freaking out at people telling them, because I realized the building we were in, the fire was across the street, and I told my friends we have to go now. And I was like in a pure panic. I saw my friend pull out a iPad and he was literally taking pictures, and I was like freaking out, being like, stop taking pictures, like we have to go now. And then say when we were about to leave in the truck, the people that loaned us the truck, thank God, she was taking pictures. And I just remember that pissed me off. That to no end freaked me out, that I couldn't get anyone to react normally. But then, and so I didn't take a single picture because my phone was dead. Luckily, it's really weird to me that was the one day on my phone that I have no phone calls, no photos, no texts. It's just like my phone blacked out that day. But then again, I keep wanting to ask my friend about the picture he took when we started running from that building. And I'm watching all these people who did record their experience, probably because they had time, because they were trapped in their car. And but man, that stuff is really going to help nowadays with the evidence of what went on, because they're using these the government saying, oh, our response was great. Like, we didn't sound these alarms because of this. People would have ran towards the fire. And then now there's all this video evidence showing, because of those people that thought, I didn't think to take a picture or video of what I was seeing, but because they did, people might be more accountable for what happened, and maybe more good changes will be implemented for next time. So we know the roads.
It's
you know
a
what I'm saying?
double-edged
Like,
sword, you know. Again, you don't want to advocate for people to start taking videos and pictures during a catastrophe. You know, you need to get the hell out of there and save yourself, save your family.
But the evidence that I'm seeing now, I'm really thankful for the people that had that idea. Like, that's terrible if that contributed to people dying, and I could see why, because I was like shaking my friends, like, don't take a picture. But man, now that I'm seeing the pictures, because it happened so fast and it was so unbelievable, I'm seeing these pictures and videos, and I'm like, wow, there definitely needs to be some changes. That shouldn't have happened, and it could have been preventable.
Yeah, I mean, that's the world we live in today, though. We live in a video world. Everybody videos everything now, and
we try to tell people, always gather evidence, but it's always self-preservation first.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
All of our vehicles are outfitted. Even our personal vehicles are outfitted with dash cams. Like, our cars have, even every Uber out there, every Lyft out there. I love going to Hawaii, but anytime you have any kind of rare rideshare service, there is recording videos everywhere. And especially in survival situations and rescue situations, I tell people, get yourself to safety first and then document.
Yeah,
and
100%.
It's really tough because we don't work with any other agency. We don't work for any other agency. We just work alongside them.
Well, Tony, you brought up a good point too. Is that you guys do wildlife rescue during these catastrophes, during these events? Are you aware, Becky, of anything like that going on in Hawaii there?
So one of the initial fires, the one that happened in the middle of the night, I don't know, I saw two different videos, but one of them that's pretty significant was a huge arc at the bird sanctuary, and they've got some of the rarest birds in the world. Is that what you mean, right? Like conservation. So some of these birds are super rare, and they were doing their best, the people up there, to get these birds to safety or put out these fires. And that really broke my heart when I heard that. I was like, wow, some birds may have gone completely extinct at that sanctuary, or I don't know if they were able to save them or what. And then not only that, I've thought of the turtles and monk seals are some of the rarest animals left in the world. There's only about 1,500 possibly in Hawaii, and they protect them, and they're very important. And I just can't even imagine how the reef, the fish, the sharks, the turtles, how anything's going to be able to live through the contamination. And I don't know who's worrying about the turtles right now, and the seals and the birds, but there's already like a limited
population. Well, as long as they weren't caged in, they got pretty good survival instincts too. So as long as they weren't keeping them caged and just let them free, then I'm sure they did okay. I'm sure they did fine. But the
best survival for most wildlife during a fire is let them go.
Yep, absolutely.
It's in Kauai, right? Because Iniki, when it came, and with the Lahaina fire in 2018, everyone let out their chickens because you had to evacuate in a hurry. So now Lahaina's been overrun with chickens. Just let them out.
We know where we can get chicken now if we ever have a chicken shortage again.
Yeah.
You don't want those chickens.
So, Jerod, there's only so much I know that you can talk about with the organization that you work with, but you guys are gearing up to help with the hurricanes that are coming in too. What can you talk about and tell us about that?
Oh, no, I specifically, like, in 2017, I got sent out to Hurricane Irma in the Keys, and my department sent me out there with a couple other guys to help assist the local law enforcement out there. But what I did was, we're not from Florida. but we got cast out there. And so I, can kind of give an experience as to what it was like having to go into a disaster area that I was not initially a part of.
Yeah.
Because you may have family members that are in the disaster area. The disaster's gone. It's over with. And now you have to get in there and kind of what to expect. And it kind of goes along with your go bags and your preparation and all that stuff, because I did it in a law enforcement capacity where I was in a marked unit and I had loaded it up with stuff, and I drove. And when I got to about Pensacola, which is, I think, the northwest part of Florida, is where I could first see the disaster. And it hit down in Big Pine, down in Key West, which is the southernmost part of the United States. And so all through Florida had been hit. Well, when I go to gas stations going in, I got fuel tanks and fuel cans, but when I'm going into Florida, some gas stations, cash only. Some gas stations, you can only fill up your tank. You can't fill up any external containers. Some places you can only take 5 gallons of gas. I had people fighting in front of me. I'm in a marked police car fighting over stuff at the gas stations. It's like,
who's gonna follow those rules in a disaster? They're not going to follow the rules.
We like to think that we're like this sophisticated, that humans are, we've evolved into this sophisticated species. We are animals when it comes down to these types of events. We go to our most primitive
to survival. Yeah, when it comes down to survival, revert back to our
exactly
caveman days.
And I brought everything. And then when I got down there, you talk about maps. When we got down there and checked into the emergency operations center, they gave us the area that we were going to go to check in with the local sheriff's department. And they literally gave us like a Disneyland map of the Keys, right? So it's like the Matterhorn's over here and Space Mountain's over here, and it's in like cartoon pictures. That was the map that they gave us of the area, right? But they gave us a radio, and they said, once you go we had a 40-mile linear patrol route, and then we had the grapevines that go off to the east and the west.
Right.
And they said after about 5 miles, you're not gonna have reception. So if you want to have reception, you got to make it all the way back to this part. And the reason I'm saying this is because, the fire department evac before the hurricane hit. So the whole time I was there, I never saw a fire engine. I never saw firemen. I never saw anything.
Oh, really?
Wow. The police that stayed, they're working on their homes after their shift. Like they have so much on their minds with their families too, right? So we're picking up a lot of the slack on it, and we're not from there. And, the whole thing that you just talked about, don't rely on the government. I'll tell you, as a government entity going into a disaster relief to come and help you, you do not rely on it. There's just only so much, that can happen. I think it was probably 10 days after the landfall that I started to see some sort of FEMA relief. National Guard comes in, but National Guard is there to distribute food and water and observe. They are not there to make arrests. They're not there to stop looting. They can observe it, but they really can't engage and do anything with that. So it's kind of like a show of force, right? The areas that I'm in are all like $1 million homes, $500,000 homes, and nobody's there giving them any support. And, they're just on their own. That's just the way it is. Like,
and what were you
10 days?
I was going to say, what kind of aid were you giving these people?
So like basically what we'd be assigned to is obviously anti-looting, because people from Miami or up north would take skiffs in and hit the Keys and go and loot houses and things like that, to well-to-do area. Yeah. But basically what we would do is we would carry hygiene kits, food and water. Well, we can only take so much food and water with us in a police Tahoe. And so we would go do welfare checks on houses, and it's a hard thing because you pull up to a house and I don't know if anybody's in there or not. And I don't know if they're going to shoot my ass when I'm going up to just do a welfare check. People, it's their property. They don't really care, and so the biggest hurdle too was like kind of what Becky talked about with the unaccountability of personnel. There was no emergency broadcast system that said, hey, if you're leaving the area, please notify your sheriff's department or your fire department so we can account for you and know that you're not here, and have to worry that you are here. Right. So you're overwhelmed with,
and nobody's going to do that. I'm worried about getting my ass out of town. I'm not going to call the sheriff's office and say, hey, see y'all next month. No, nobody's going to do that.
And that's exactly it. So, we were very, very short staffed, and we had, Florida Fish and Game was one of the first agencies that came in there, when we were there. No other real departments had really come down yet. And they come in with all these badass vehicles, ladders, all this equipment. And they were like, if you need law enforcement assistance, basically don't contact us. But if we see you messing with the saltwater crocs, the alligators, the key deer, we're going to arrest you on the spot. We're here to support the animals.
We're here to support the important things.
Yeah. And we're like, they could care less about the people.
Yeah.
So going back to your thing, do not rely on the government. I mean, there's good-hearted, hardworking people out there, but their hands are tied. It's just the way that it is.
Yeah. So, when you were, again, as much as you can or whatever, just if you can't answer it, just say I can't answer it. When you were down there, you said you were trying to squash the looting and whatnot. Did you have any run-ins with people?
Yeah, not extreme run-ins. So basically what happens in an area like this is, the way that we were set up, they had some SOPs in place where any vehicle driving after sunset was automatic probable cause to be pulled over and detained. So like after dark, you are not allowed outside your yard. You are not allowed to drive on the streets. If you did, you got rolled up by any police unit, which there wasn't that many anyways.
Yeah.
But the thing is that we had to drive around with our lights on, like our cherries and berries. So we had our red and blues on driving around at night so that people knew we were the police. But if we're driving down the street, you're seeing us 2 miles away coming in if you're looting at a house.
Right.
So we did cadaver recovery with drones, and we were kind of just there to support basically the local law enforcement that were, we'd go back to their house and help fix their roof afterwards. And, but that's the thing is like when you're in an area like that, you remember that the local emergency services, they're a victim too.
Right.
So
and that's why a lot of them
it's not fair to
also flee. They leave the area. That's why they're not there.
Yeah, but when you have organizations like what Ton's doing and things like that, that's what it's designed for. And in fact, that's what should happen more is that we should allocate outside entities to come in and do the majority of the work. Because everybody else is trying to fix their own family problems.
Let me ask you this:
else.
Did you see a lot of? Did you encounter a lot of those organizations while you were down there?
No. After about a week, we had like a Verizon truck, like a big ass trailer came down, and like people could come and like make phone calls because like everything was knocked down, everything was gone.
Yeah.
And but like the surge was so weird on the tide from the hurricane that like you drive down roads and there's like 30-foot boats in the middle of the street and the ocean's nowhere near it.
Yeah.
there's blockades. And so like I have like this detailed gear list of everything I took, down to batteries and ammo and everything, you know, and I had just about everything I needed except one critical piece that I will never do anything like that without again. And that was a chainsaw. A chainsaw is something if you can strap it in your vehicle and you're going anywhere in a natural disaster, a chainsaw will save your ass.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's what a lot of the SDIA, the sheepdog guys do, is they do a lot of the, you know, the clearing of the trees and getting them off their houses and stuff like that.
Fix a flat, you know, have all that crap. Plugs for your tire. I mean, I can't even tell you. We had just gotten like the BFG KO2, you know, 10-ply side, you know, tires on our police Tahoe, and
pop.
Dude, I bet you that tire was made more of plugs by the end of it than it was tire.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, that's what a lot of people don't hear either, are, you know, that side of the story too. You know, the fire and rescue guys.
Yeah.
The emergency services people. Don't really hear a lot about their stories, you know, during these things too. And you made a great point, is they have homes and they have families there also that they're absolutely concerned about, and you know, and
they should be.
Helping somebody else probably last on their mind. They want to help and get their families out of there too.
There's no way you can blame anybody for wanting to go help their family.
No, not at all. And that goes back to what I was saying earlier about, you know, you're being very irresponsible and selfish if you stay and you do not prepare for these, you know, these disasters when they happen. You don't evacuate when you're supposed to, when you're told to.
Yeah.
Because those people, it's their job to go out and risk their lives to go and save you, find you, you know, whatever it may be. And you know, I get checking in with your local people. It's like, hey, we're evacuated, and that it makes their job a lot easier, and they can focus really on the people who need it at that point. But it's unrealistic. That's not going to happen.
No, and I was telling Becky earlier this week, I feel for everybody that goes through these things, and so on my way to Florida, I thought, okay, you know what I'll do? I'll buy crayons and coloring books for the kids that we see and all that stuff. I don't even know if I saw a kid the whole time I was there, but I bought like 10 cartons of cigarettes and dip, right? And I'm like,
that was more appreciated than anything, right?
I'm going to be the hero of the keys, because I'm going to be the dude passing out packs of smokes to people that need them, or dip.
The smoke and the backy.
Bro, I couldn't give those things away. Nobody would take them. Everybody's like, dude, I've been living here for 20 years. I got 25 cartons of cigarettes in here. This isn't my first rodeo. You know, like everybody was stocked up on. I think I had to like throw the cartons away or something, dude. It was like, I couldn't even give them out. The people that I saw were pretty prepared.
Yeah. But at the same time, you know, it's those people that put the other people's lives in jeopardy. They're going to sit there and ride it out, being a dumbass.
Yeah.
Kind of deal. It's like, oh, yeah, I've been doing this for 20 years. Well, you know, there's going to be that one where you don't make it, dude. And
But it's in all fairness, like kind of like what we were talking about with the emergency systems and stuff. Like, you know, I'm up northwest of Dallas, right? I'm up in Jacksboro. So we got hit with our F3 a year and a half ago. And yeah, the sirens went off, but the sirens always went off, and we never had a tornado touch. So, okay, the sirens go off. What can you do? Well, I can get in my bathtub or whatever, right? But then once the tornado hit, then they implemented this, you know, national or this county broadcast service. And so now anytime the wind blows a leaf off a tree, our phones blow up.
So it's crying like, wolf.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
people get desensitized to the
accustomed to it differently.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
we have the same problem. I'm out here in Johnson County.
It's awful.
And we keep getting hit by the straight line winds, which trigger all our tornado sirens. So what people do is they complain and went to City Hall, and now they do them every Wednesday, and they complain about that. So what they do is now, if we even get the sirens, someone calls and complains because they're supposed to go off for 5 minutes once a week on Wednesdays. So they quit doing that. Then, okay, once the wind speed hits a certain speed, they're supposed to trigger. Well, if no tornado or nothing bad happens, people start complaining because, they're going off too often. So
you can't please anybody, can you?
No, and it's one of those things where if they go off, they complain. If they don't go off, they complain. If there's a natural disaster, they're going to complain. And I understand coming from areas where natural disasters happen all too frequent. I mean, hell, it was the earthquakes, fires, flash floods. We never had any warning signs. We watched what was going on around us. I mean, we had the day fire, 58 days of fire. We survived it. We had flash floods that took out.
Yeah, but with today's technology, it just makes sense that we would want to try to implement early warning systems. And but here, and people don't need to be complaining about it because it's put in place for their protection.
Correct. But like the people in Florida with the hurricane, okay, with like Hurricane Irma, for instance, what happens is a hurricane keeps its path, right? And then right before it hits landfall, it usually diverts into a totally different direction, right? Yeah. So like if everybody's saying, hey, the hurricane is headed straight for Key West, it's headed straight for Key West. Everybody in Key West is like, okay, well, that's actually good because it's going to divert somewhere else at the last minute. So they don't want to evacuate. And so I see that side too. And then when it doesn't divert and they're like, okay, this is really going to suck.
But here's the thing. Here's the thing with the hurricanes. Again, they know it's coming. They've got days to prepare for it, to get out and, do whatever they need to do
but you could literally be getting out and you could be getting out and going to an area where the hurricane's going to divert to, though. I see just saying I see the gamble with it.
Like a lightning strike, you don't know where it's going to hit. I could stand here. I got just as much odds of getting hit here as I do over there.
Yeah,
kind of deal.
I get it. So from the government side, don't rely on us or anybody for support. It's just not a smart thing to do.
But again, with today's technology, and especially with with the storms, they can be tracked to fairly good rating of competency of it. It's going to be here, it's going to do this, but again, with a hurricane, you never know where it's going to go once it hits land. But I get that, but that still shouldn't prevent us from having all these warning systems in place to give them the opportunity. We still need to have those in place. Whether people want to heed the warning or not, it's up to their own dumbasses.
Yeah. No. And the thing is like when the tornado hit Jacksboro, like my house didn't really take that much damage. Everything around me got freaking destroyed. Right. So like I had all my emergency stuff. I had no power. That was it. All my windows, everything was good. But what was nice was I had all my stuff. And so I distributed generators and all sorts of stuff that I didn't need to my friends that had shambles. So just having that stuff is good for you to have, but you can also, take care of people that are in your little inner circle.
It's like Becky was saying, take care of your neighbors. Look out for your neighbors.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Exactly.
Yeah. And that's kind of what you see too in these disasters, when disasters hit, is you see the communities coming together and helping one another. And you see it every time it happens, everywhere it happens. With the hurricanes, whether it's the tornadoes, whether it's these fires. A community that may not have done much, together in the past, when something like this, then it brings everybody together on common ground. And it's, it's just about, human kindness.
Alyssa knows a thing or two about firearms. The gun store where she works and the folks she instructs would vouch for that. She spends most of her time on the range and in the classroom, teaching others about firearms and the fundamentals of shooting. On her days off, you'll likely catch her somewhere in the backcountry with her favorite firearm, a Kel-Tec KS7. At just over 26 inches, this short, slim second cousin to the KSG is lighter, but no less lethal. The shotgun's 18.5-inch barrel offers plenty of velocity, and its ample magazine tube provides a healthy dose of firepower with its 7+1 shell capacity, her go-to for home protection. Alyssa loves the carry handle and fiber optic sights she got on her first KS7, but is equally enamored with the Picatinny rail kit she put on her second. Why settle for one when you can add another to your already awesome collection of Kel-Tecs? Innovation, performance, Kel-Tec.
And it's even happened here in my subdivision. We had one a few years back, and luckily it didn't hit my house, but some of the neighbors. And like I said, I don't get along with my neighbors. I could care less whether I have a beer with my neighbors or not. But when something like that happened, again, the compassion goes out, human compassion, and, you want to help. It's just in our nature. It's like,
Yeah, but at the same time, you're kind of like Clint Eastwood in Unforgiven, where he's like, you just shot an unarmed man. And he's like, well, he should have armed himself.
Yeah.
Damn straight.
Right?
Yeah. I wasn't saying I wasn't going around saying, I told you so. But no, I get it. And Becky, I really appreciate you coming on and sharing your story. And I'm so sorry that it's under these circumstances.
Thank you so much for having me. Do you think I could give one more shout out?
Absolutely.
Anybody that wants to try to help Maui, if they want. I saw the coolest hashtag. It's like be like Blake. It's this really cool Lahaina local guy, and he is like organized all the supplies that people need for Lahaina still right now. He just got 400 air purifiers because all the families left are getting sick. His Instagram is BKR Vlogs. It's like Blake Ram. His last name's RAMELB.
All right, let me put my microphone down here. I was holding my microphone. Search. Say it again.
BKR Vlogs. VLOGS. Blake. I don't want to butcher.
Rameth?
Yes. So he is not only the best source of what's going on in the ground in Lahaina, but he's just stepped up completely, and he's putting out Amazon wish lists for things that they need, like fans and these protective masks and air purifiers. And he not only has like a wish list of things, but he has like addresses or like Venmos or whatever that you can help. And he's really, really inspired. Like, he's just an inspiration for the community and all the people around him that are helping. I just am really proud of Blake and people like him. I hope every community has someone like Blake in their town.
The other organization is the Lahaina Ohana Venmo.
Yes, that is definitely local, real families who are native. They don't have somewhere else to go or any other family to rely on. Those are people I've worked with, people that have given me rides, like fed me. Those are really, really good people. Some of them, like my friend on there, Nicole, I scrolled down, I saw her. She's struggling with crazy cancer right now, and she has 2 little kids. Like, I know everyone's struggling right now with hard things, but if anybody can, there's nothing that helps with your troubles than helping others. So,
and this organization has been vetted, so you guys, if you want to get in touch with them for donations, definitely get in touch with them there. And then, of course, other organizations like Sheepdog, if you need to vet one of those disaster recovery missions that are going out there, if you want to make sure they're legit, you can get in touch with Sheepdog. They could probably vet those organizations
Hungry
as
Heroes
well.
Hawaii.
Hungry Heroes Hawaii.
That was my friend who I met him. He was homeless, and he told me he was going to feed all the homeless people. This was in 2020. And I didn't really believe him. I was like, what are you talking about? And he has fed, like, it's insane. Like, it was the first few days, it was like 200,000 meals. He's gotten just people in Maui to donate.
That's
and he just got a huge shout out today. But man, this kid has had this vision for a long time, and now he's like saving everybody and just doing it without money, just community and
don't give donation. To Ukrainian efforts. Don't give to efforts for some other. Give to what's going on here in America. We've got our own problems here, our own citizens. I say citizens that need help, legal citizens, and you can put your time, effort, and money toward helping Americans and what's going on here in America. To hell with Ukraine. I'll say it right now. I'll say it again.
Can I do one plug as well?
Yeah, buddy. Go ahead.
Because my sister has just been talking about helping other people and doing all this stuff. And my sister I know is struggling, and it's always hard to be in a situation where you know that other people need help too. But
absolutely.
We've created a GoFundMe for my sister. It's on my company Facebook page. It's stablades.com. And basically on my Facebook STA Blades. What I'm doing is if you donate, so if you go to that pinned post where the black handled knife is, right there, yeah. And you click on more, so where it says see more.
See more butts?
See more butts. Okay, so basically what I'm doing is her GoFundMe link is there, and for every $20 that you donate, you get one number. So if you donate $100, you get 5 numbers. And then what happens is you take a picture, a confirmation picture, and email it to me, which is all on there, that you've donated to her GoFundMe, and then I issue you the numbers that correlate to how much you donated. And then when the campaign's over, I'm going to do a random number generator live Facebook draw, and then we're going to donate this Damascus fighting knife.
Okay. Beautiful.
Wow, that's so nice.
You can see there's a Damascus core. It's like 30 layers on the inside there. So they're going to win this fighter, and then I have some secondary prizes and stuff, but that'll be the main one. And so far the support has been amazing. Like I'm super appreciative of everybody and what they've done. Anybody can do it, and anybody can win it. All the information on how to enter for the knife it's right up there on the Facebook page. So any support is help.
Can you put a link on your website too that will go to this?
Yeah, I will.
Okay.
Yes.
And I'll put one up on our website also.
Oh man, that would be so badass.
Do you want other stuff? Can we donate some stuff to help out with this?
Absolutely. Yeah. Okay. For sure.
All right. Well, let's get together after the show, and we'll get some other badass stuff to
that
auction
would be
off.
Awesome.
Hell yeah.
Thanks. That's so cool. And thank you, Marty. Thank you, everyone here, for listening. That's so awesome.
Absolutely. And how are you doing now? What are your plans right now, Becky? Are you in California right now?
Yeah, I'm staying. Luckily, I do have family in Northern California, and then my brother, my sisters are like kind of scattered everywhere. My mom has a little 1-bedroom house that she's opened up, so I've been staying on her couch. I have no idea what to do next. I'm just stressed out and worried about Maui. You know, it's hard to move on when they're still collecting bodies and they're still missing numbers in the hundreds or thousands. So I honestly, I'm not sure what I'm going to do next, but I know I can't live with myself if I don't try to get the word out or help in some way. So thanks for helping me recover a little bit.
It's our pleasure. Absolutely. And if there's anything else that we can do to help, just reach out. I'll give you my info. Jerod will hook us up. I'm sure Ton happy to help as well. And all the lead
Thanks.
heads, are gonna
I love
definitely
the lead head. Thanks.
gonna be happy to help out. Definitely. Well, you're brave, and you're a hero for making it through, saving, getting your friends through that, getting your pets, your animals through that, and I know that you're gonna be fine. You're gonna be great. You've got an awesome brother here.
I know,
Jerod.
I'm lucky.
I haven't
So
met your
lucky.
other siblings, but I know if they're anything like you two, they're awesome as well.
They are.
We're definitely the most awesome of the siblings.
Of all the siblings, the two of you.
Yeah, you got to experience the best too. Yeah,
I got the best of the Johnsons here.
yeah, that's right.
And then there's Ton.
Yeah, I'm just a trainer.
Johnny come lately. Johnny come. And Ton just had a big competition that he got back from. We're not going to talk about it this episode, Ton, but we'll get you on next episode. We'll get the details on the big Ohio. Was that the
Pyramid Cup?
Pyramid Cup. That's what it was. The Pyramid Cup. And Ton actually made it to the finals. So.
Yep. And I'm
Nice.
told no longer to shoot flowers. I'm supposed to be shooting targets.
Squirrel.
And you take
Ton
the competition a
gets
little more
distracted
seriously.
very easily. So.
Quit eating Cheetos. Shoot the targets. So many rules.
And Ton just had a birthday too, so happy birthday to Ton.
Happy birthday, bro.
Happy birthday.
Thank you.
He had the same birthday as Red Dawn.
Oh, that's a good
Nice.
move.
Yeah.
Hopefully the first
One.
one, the only one.
Yeah.
84. That I don't know of another one. Is there another one?
Yeah.
I don't know anything about it.
I wasn't born in '84. We just happened to be.
Do you have
born in this
your
country.
birthday present for me there, or you got it? You still got
One
it?
of them.
You got one of them?
One of them here, and
Yeah, baby.
oh,
That wasn't your
yeah.
birthday present though. That was because you legitimately won.
That's because I actually won something.
Yeah, you legitimately won something. So
I didn't think that was going to happen.
yeah. Well,
Wow.
we reward our lead heads here, Rebecca. I'm not giving anything away today, but we normally give stuff away. But we are having a huge giveaway. Let's remind everybody before we sign off here. We've got the big giveaway that's going on through the month of September. Over $6,000 worth of awesome prizes. And we got 3 guns from Keltec, pistol, rifle, shotgun. We've got a rifle case from Kraken Cases, a very nice rifle case. We've got Firebird targets from Firebird. We've got Walker Ear Pro, electronic ear pro from Walker's Ear. We've got Tactical RX Eye Pro, some very cool, stylish Eye Pro. I don't know that it's going to be this exact set of Eye Pro here. This is their Mother Truckers. They call these the Mother Truckers. Eye Pro. We've got ammo from Defiant Munitions. We've got, what else have we got? We've got, the branded logo t-shirt and hat from Dipstick Branding with our new Talking Lead logo. The winner's going to get, of course, you get your size. You don't have to wear my small little shirt. Look, Ton's got one. That
Nice.
big old head. That's not gonna fit on your melon head. There it is.
Yeah, do they come in adult size, bro? What
No.
the hell?
Well, we're going to work on that. I'm testing
Dude.
some apparel, so yeah.
Really?
I don't know that you'll get this hat, but you'll get a hat. STA Blades, we got a, is it MB Stabby?
MD.
MD Stabby. You name them after your friends. What friend is
I
that?
do. That's my friend Mike DeSena.
Okay.
Woo!
There you go.
Yeah.
I'm on their website. I'm on your website right now.
He's got some badass knives, man.
Yeah, it's so art. It's pure art.
Yeah, I was like, oh, look at these knives.
What else
Well,
is there? I'm
You're
forgetting.
just right down the road. Seal 1.
Seal 1, yes, Seal 1. We got Seal 1 to clean those guns. We actually got one of their new rod kits that we're going to include and their CLP cleaning kit. So you're going to be set with Seal 1 and done. Use the code LEADHEAD, get 25% off anything at seal1.com. Good buddy Dwight there.
Dwight's the man.
Dwight is the man. I'm forgetting somebody. I don't have my
Defiant
list.
Ammo.
Defiant munitions were the 9 mil and
You're
the
doing Firebird targets?
226. I said Firebird targets. You got some there?
Sorry, I was looking at knives.
Can you hold some Firebird targets up for our
No,
listeners?
I can't. I use them. Yeah, I used them at the competition.
You used all of them? Used every one of them?
That was very judgy. Yeah, I did.
I'm trying to
blew up
find
a
my
lot of
list
crap.
here real quick.
Dude.
Make sure I don't forget somebody. I've got so many lists. This is the Talking Lead and Friends.
Oh, I know
Freedom.
what it is.
Mission First.
Oh, no, wait.
Mission First Tactical.
I was gonna say Mission First Tactical, the holsters, and
Mission First is giving away a whole bunch of stuff. They're giving away the holsters. These, you're going to get one of these sling bags. You're going to get one of their medium bags as well. That's included. The drinkware. You're going to get a couple of different drinkwares. You're going to get the magazines, the AR magazines. This badass custom holster right here with the new Talking Lead logo. Tun's got one of these too. You got one of these.
It is
somewhere around there.
That's one of the original holsters.
And something else from Mission First. But yeah, so you're going to get over like $6,000. We haven't completely added everything up yet. But
I was going to say, I think it sounds more than that.
It may be. I'm not very good with math. So
this is like the one giveaway that like everybody would just die for.
And one person is going to get everything.
Yeah.
Gets the whole kit and caboodle. You can go out and feel all the freedom, all the America, taken to the range. You're going to look good. You're going to shoot good. But most importantly, you're going to feel good for all that freedom. So here
Which knife is it?
Where's what?
Which knife? Which knife are you giving away?
The MD Stabby.
MD Stabby.
Holy mother of God.
And of course, we got to thank our friends at Black Tie Digital Marketing. They're helping us put this together. Enforce. We got the 2 weapon lights from Enforce. We've got the Vortex Optics. I forgot the Vortex Optics also. So there's going to be a Strike Eagle 1-8 and a Spitfire. The Strike Eagle alone is $600 by itself. $600 optic right there. So well over $6,000 worth of prizes. One person takes it all. And as you're listening to this, it should have already started. So I'm hoping that we get everything up and going. But there you go. Take part. This is how we give back to our listeners. Appreciate everybody for the 10 years of Talking Lead, the 500 plus episodes, and all the support and love over the years. Go show Becky some love too. Go to those Instagram pages. Go to Jerod's Facebook page.
Yeah, what? Tell them your Instagram handle in case some people want to know like more questions or something, Beck.
If you want to engage with people, if you don't give it.
I don't really know. Like I have an account on Instagram. It's wicked.wahini. But I'm not super active on any like social media that much, But I am trying to follow everyone that's making a difference and helping the community and spreading the word and not conspiracy theories.
If you want to get in touch with Becky, just get in touch with Jerod and he can put you in touch with her. If you've got a message or kind words you'd like to pass along, but definitely go to STA Blades Facebook page, and that's where you can donate and help Becky out there. She lost everything in the fires. So help a fellow leadhead out, leadheads.
Yeah, you're a lead head now, Becky.
You are official leadhead. Yeah. Even though we haven't put you through the new guy questions, we're going to have you back on and put you through the new guy questions.
Okay, good.
But yes, you are an official leadhead now. Welcome to the club.
Thank you so much, you guys. I appreciate you.
So there you go, Lead Heads. That does it for another episode of the Talking Lead podcast. Big thanks to Jerod for making this happen, setting it up. Thank you, Jerod. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
Ton, thank you for rushing at the car dealer. I'm sure they probably took you for everything you had for that new car you got. What'd you get, a Mercedes?
A Kia.
Ooh, I like it.
You got a Kia. That's something you don't ever expect to come out of somebody's mouth who looks like that, right?
One day I hope to be that secure with myself.
Yeah.
And of course, Becky, thank you for sharing your story. Very courageous story. Thank you very much for being on. And if you come up with anything else, you think of anything else that we can do to help, just reach out to us. Be glad to do it. Go support all our sponsors, Leadheads, 4Patriots. Go to 4patriots.com, all caps Leadhead, 10% off first purchase. Go to Lockdown, Leadhead, lowercase, 15% off. Any products at Lockdown, my wall I've got back there is from Lockdown. Medicine in Bad Places, we're talking about building your bags. You go to Medicine in Bad Places. They've got all the med supplies that you're going to need to build that kit. Medicine in Bad Places, use the code LEADHEAD20. You're going to get 20% off, or it might just be Leadhead. It's either Leadhead20 or Leadhead, but you're going to get 20% off Medicine in Bad Places. Pete Pie, Defiant Munitions, that ammo that we're giving away there. All caps Leadhead, you get 10% off Defiant Munitions. Factory 47 for my AK Corner logoed apparel. Go to Factory 47, use the code LEADHEAD, lowercase, 10% off. Good buddies at Keltec, use the code LEADHEAD, get 15% off. They've got some new badass apparel and shirts. I'll be wearing some of my shirts in the next episode, so you can see some of the shirts. But they're trucker hats, they're shirts, anything that's non-firearms on their website, you can get 15% off at Keltec. And then Mission First Tactical, all lowercase Leadhead, 20% off. Seal1.com, Leadhead, 25% off. Use the code, support our sponsors. That's how we bring this show to you each and every week, sometimes more. And that's how we're able to reward you with awesome prizes and giveaways. And during this month also, for this big giveaway, watch our social medias, because we're going to be giving away additional items to help push and promote this. So drinkware, holsters, Seal 1, iPro, you name it. We're giving away all kinds of stuff. So you got to be listening. You got to participate. And Ton, that's how they win, right?
Oh, yeah. That's how I won.
Speaking of a winner. Dun, dun, dun. Dump tray. Mission First Tactical dump tray. There it is.
Hell yeah. Now I just got to keep it away from my wife because she takes it all from me.
There you go. So that does it, Leadheads. Appreciate it. Ton, till the next episode, keep your loved ones close.
And your firearms closer.
All right. Good show, everybody.
Thank you very much, guys.
Thank you.
Oh, my bad. I hit the wrong button. I hit the wrong button.
There you are.
Sorry. I was trying to hit the stop recording.
Marty's got a hot date.
Marty got to go pee. He's got the bladder the size of a squirrel.
Damn.
Yeah.
No, seriously, that was a great show.
The mic anymore when I'm on.